The tale of the enchanted garden. Once upon a time, in a small village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known throughout the village for her love of plants and flowers. Her garden was the most beautiful in all the land, filled with blossoms of every color and scent. People from neighboring villages would travel just to see her garden, and some even said that it was enchanted. But Elara's garden held a secret. In the very center of the garden, hidden beneath a bed of roses, there was a small, golden key. This key had been passed down through generations in Elara's family, but no one knew what it unlocked. Elara's grandmother had told her that the key held great power and was meant to open the door to something truly wondrous, but the door itself had been lost to time. One day, while tending to her roses, Elara heard a faint whisper on the wind. She paused, listening closely, and realized that the voice was coming from the direction of the forest. Intrigued, she followed the voice, leaving her garden behind and entering the shadowy woods. The voice grew louder as Elara ventured deeper into the forest. Finally, she came to a clearing she had never seen before. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent tree, its bark shimmering like silver and its leaves glowing with a soft, golden light. At the base of the tree was a small door, intricately carved with symbols and patterns that seemed to shift and change as Elara looked at them. Elara's heart skipped a beat. Could this be the door that the golden key was meant to unlock? She reached into her pocket, where she always kept the key, and felt a strange warmth as her fingers touched it. With trembling hands, she approached the door and inserted the key into the lock. The door opened with a soft click, revealing a spiral staircase that led down into the earth. Elara hesitated for only a moment before stepping through the door and descending the stairs. As she walked, the air around her grew warmer, and the faint smell of flowers filled the air. When Elara reached the bottom of the staircase, she found herself in an underground garden unlike anything she had ever seen. The flowers here were enormous, their petals shimmering with colors she had never imagined. Trees with silver bark and golden leaves towered above her, and a gentle, musical breeze rustled through the foliage. In the center of the garden stood a small, crystal-clear pond. Beside the pond was a beautiful woman with long, flowing hair that sparkled like the stars. She wore a gown made of petals and leaves, and her eyes were as bright as the sun. "Welcome, Elara," the woman said, her voice like the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. "I am Silva, the guardian of the enchanted garden." Elara bowed respectfully. "It's an honor to meet you, Lady Silva. But how do you know my name?" Silva smiled warmly. "I have watched over your family for many generations. You are the first in a long time to find the door to this garden. The key you hold is a powerful artifact, one that was created to protect this place." Elara looked around in wonder. "This garden, it's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. But why was it hidden?" "This garden holds ancient magic," Silva explained. "It is the source of life and growth in your world. Long ago, it was open to all, but when darkness threatened to consume the land, it was hidden away to protect its power. Your family was entrusted with the key to keep it safe until the time came when the garden could be revealed once more." Elara's eyes widened. "Does that mean the darkness is gone?" Silva shook her head. "Not entirely. The darkness still lingers, but it is weak. The time has come for the garden's magic to be shared with the world again, to help heal and restore the balance." Elara felt a sense of responsibility settle on her shoulders. "What must I do, Lady Silva?" "You must care for this garden, as you care for your own. But more importantly, you must share its magic with those who need it. The flowers here have healing properties, the trees can grant wisdom, and the water from the pond can cleanse any illness. Use this magic wisely, and you will help restore the world." Elara nodded, determined. "I will do my best." Silva smiled and placed a delicate flower in Elara's hand. "This flower will guide you when you need it most. It will show you the way back to this garden and help you understand its secrets." With that, Silva began to fade, her form merging with the light of the garden. "Remember, Elara," she whispered, "you are the guardian now." Elara watched as Silva disappeared, leaving her alone in the garden. She felt a deep connection to this place, as if it had always been a part of her. She knew that she had a great responsibility, but she also knew that she was ready. After spending some time exploring the garden and gathering a few of its magical flowers, Elara returned to the spiral staircase. As she ascended, the door closed behind her, but she felt the golden key still warm in her pocket, a reminder of the magic she had discovered. When Elara emerged from the forest, she returned to her village, where she began to share the magic of the enchanted garden with those in need. The flowers healed the sick, the tree's wisdom guided the lost, and the water cleansed those who were burdened by illness. The village prospered, and word of Elara's magic spread far and wide. But Elara never forgot her promise to Silva. She tended to the garden in the forest with as much care and love as she did her own. And every so often, when the world needed a little extra magic, she would return to the enchanted garden, guided by the flower Silva had given her. And so, Elara became the guardian of the enchanted garden, a protector of its magic and a healer of the world. Her village flourished, and the darkness that once threatened the land faded away, replaced by the light and life that Elara nurtured with her kind heart and gentle spirit. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. In a tranquil village nestled between rolling hills and a serene lake, there was a small, enchanting glade that came alive each night under the light of the full moon. This glade was known for its magical beauty and the soft, melodic music that seemed to drift through the air, captivating anyone who listened. The source of this music was a legendary silver harp, said to be crafted by the moonlight itself and enchanted to play melodies that could heal hearts and bring joy. The harp, however, was hidden deep within the glade and could only be found by someone with a true heart. One evening, a young woman named Elara, known for her kindness and musical talent, arrived in the village. She had heard tales of the moonlit melody and the magical harp and was eager to see if the stories were true. Elara had a special gift for playing the violin, and she often performed for the villagers, bringing them comfort and joy. As the full moon rose high in the sky, Elara set out towards the glade. The path was shrouded in mist and illuminated by the moon's soft glow. She followed the ethereal light, her heart filled with a mixture of wonder and anticipation. When Elara reached the glade, she was greeted by a breathtaking sight. The moonlight bathed the area in a silvery glow, and the air was filled with the most beautiful, otherworldly music. The sound seemed to beckon her deeper into the glade. Elara carefully made her way through the glade, following the melody. As she walked, she noticed that the flowers and trees seemed to sway rhythmically with the music, as if they were dancing in harmony with the unseen source of the melody. Finally, Elara reached a clearing where the silver harp stood upon a pedestal made of entwined vines and flowers. The harp shimmered with moonlight, its strings glowing softly. Elara approached the harp with reverence, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. The moment she touched the harp, the music seemed to transform, becoming even more enchanting and soothing. Elara, inspired by the magical melody, began to play her violin in harmony with the harp. The combined music created a symphony that resonated throughout the glade, filling the air with a sense of peace and joy. As Elara played, a figure emerged from the shadows of the glade. It was a graceful fairy with delicate wings that sparkled like stardust. The fairy approached Elara with a warm smile. "Thank you for awakening the moonlit melody," the fairy said in a voice like a gentle breeze. "The silver harp has been waiting for someone who understands the true essence of music and its power to heal." Elara's eyes widened with surprise. "Is the music truly magical?" she asked. The fairy nodded. "Indeed. The moonlit melody has the power to bring comfort and joy to those who listen with an open heart. It can heal sorrow and inspire hope." Elara felt a deep sense of gratitude and joy. "I've always believed in the magic of music. I'm honored to have experienced the moonlit melody." The fairy extended her hand and handed Elara a small, luminescent charm shaped like a musical note. "This charm will allow you to carry the essence of the moonlit melody with you. Share its magic with others, and it will continue to bring light and joy wherever you go." Elara accepted the charm with a grateful heart. She played one last, beautiful tune on her violin, and the silver harp's music joined in, creating a final, breathtaking harmony. The fairy smiled and, with a graceful flutter of her wings, vanished into the moonlit night. Elara returned to the village, carrying the charm and the memory of the magical night with her. She continued to perform with even more passion and heart, her music now imbued with the enchanting essence of the moonlit melody. The villagers were touched by Elara's performances, which seemed to carry a special warmth and magic. The charm remained a cherished secret, a symbol of the magic that music can bring to the world. And so, the moonlit melody continued to inspire and heal, its magic spreading far beyond the glade, bringing joy and comfort to all who heard its song. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, magical forest, there was a quaint village called Elderglen. The villagers lived in harmony with nature and were blessed with a serene life, thanks to a mysterious artifact known as the Enchanted Mirror. This ancient mirror, kept in the village's grand hall, was said to reflect not just one's image but also their true intentions and the path they were meant to follow. One day, as the village prepared for the annual Festival of Lights, a dark shadow began to loom over Elderglen. The enchanted mirror, which had always glowed with a soft, golden light, dimmed and went dark. Without the mirror's guidance, the village's crops began to wither, and the once vibrant forest grew quiet and still. The villagers were troubled, for they knew that the mirror's light was vital to their prosperity. Among the villagers was a brave young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and courage. Determined to save her village, she decided to find out what had happened to the enchanted mirror. She approached the village elder, an old woman named Serafina, who had guarded the mirror for many years. "Serafina, what can we do to restore the mirror's light?" Lyra asked earnestly. Serafina's eyes, though weary, sparkled with hope. The enchanted mirror is linked to a magical artifact called the Moonstone. It is said that the Moonstone was stolen by a mischievous sorcerer who resides in the Shadow Caves. You must retrieve the Moonstone and return it to restore the mirror's light. Lyra nodded, ready for the challenge. She set off towards the Shadow Caves, which were located at the far end of the forest. Armed with a lantern, a map of the forest, and a small pouch of enchanted herbs for protection, Lyra ventured into the unknown. As she approached the Shadow Caves, she noticed that the entrance was guarded by a fierce, shadowy creature known as the Shade Beast. The Shade Beast growled, its eyes glowing like embers. "To enter the caves, you must pass my test," it rumbled. "Solve my riddle, or you shall not proceed." Lyra took a deep breath and listened carefully. The Shade Beast continued, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle for a moment before replying, "A cloud." The Shade Beast's eyes softened, and it stepped aside, allowing Lyra to enter the caves. Inside, the Shadow Caves were a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and eerie echoes. Lyra followed the map, using her lantern to light the way. After some time, she found herself at the center of the cave, where a dark, glittering chest lay upon a stone pedestal. The Moonstone was nestled inside, glowing with a soft, silver light. However, the chest was protected by a magical barrier that could only be dispelled by a pure-hearted person. Lyra approached the chest and placed her hand on it. The barrier shimmered and then vanished. Lyra carefully took the Moonstone, feeling its cool, soothing energy. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a mischievous sorcerer with a cloak as dark as night. "So, you have found my Moonstone," he sneered. "But it is not so easy to leave the caves with it." Lyra stood her ground. "I am taking this Moonstone back to restore the enchanted mirror and save my village." The sorcerer's expression softened. "Many have tried to retrieve the Moonstone, but none have shown such determination and bravery. Perhaps, there is more to you than meets the eye." He waved his hand, and the shadows around them began to lift. "You may leave with the Moonstone. Just remember, it is the light of courage and heart that truly guides us." Lyra thanked the sorcerer and made her way back to Elderglen. As she approached the village, she was greeted by anxious villagers. With a triumphant smile, Lyra placed the Moonstone back into its rightful place in the enchanted mirror. the mirror's golden light burst forth, illuminating the village and the surrounding forest. The crops revived, the flowers bloomed, and the forest came alive with vibrant sounds. The villagers cheered and celebrated, grateful to Lyra for her bravery. That evening, during the Festival of Lights, the village honored Lyra with a special celebration. The enchanted mirror's light shone brighter than ever, and the village flourished once more. Lyra's story became a cherished tale in Elderglen, reminding everyone that courage, determination, and a pure heart could overcome even the darkest of challenges. And so, Elderglen continued to thrive, forever guided by the light of the enchanted mirror and the bravery of one extraordinary girl. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between tall mountains and a dense forest, lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known throughout the village for her adventurous spirit and curious nature. Her grandmother would often tell her stories about the enchanted moonflower, a rare bloom that only appeared once every 100 years in the heart of the Whispering Woods. The moonflower was said to have magical powers. Its petals shimmered like silver, and it could grant a wish to the one who found it under the full moon. For generations, villagers had ventured into the woods, hoping to find the mystical flower, but none had succeeded. Elara had grown up hearing these tales and had always dreamed of discovering the moonflower herself. One fateful evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Elara's heart filled with determination. "Tonight is the night," she whispered to herself. With her lantern in hand, she slipped quietly out of her cottage and into the woods. The Whispering Woods were eerie and mysterious. The trees seemed to murmur secrets, and the wind howled softly through the branches. But Elara was unafraid. She followed a narrow, winding path that her grandmother had described, leading deeper into the forest. The moonlight illuminated her way, casting long shadows on the ground. Hours passed, and Elara began to grow weary. Doubt crept into her mind. Perhaps the moonflower is just a story after all, she thought. But just as she was about to turn back, a soft, silvery glow caught her eye. She turned toward the light and gasped. There, in a small clearing, stood the moonflower. Its petals glistened like stardust, and its stem seemed to pulse with a gentle, magical energy. Elara approached slowly, her heart pounding in her chest. She had found it, the legendary moonflower. As she reached out to touch the delicate petals, a soft voice echoed through the clearing. "Who dares to pluck the moonflower?" it asked. Startled, Elara looked around but saw no one. "I am Elara," she said, her voice steady. "I have come to make a wish." The voice responded, "Many have sought the moonflower, but only those with pure intentions may make a wish. What is it that you desire, young one?" Elara thought for a moment. She could wish for anything, riches, power, fame. But none of those things mattered to her. Instead, she remembered her village, which had been suffering from drought for years. The crops were withering, and the people were struggling. She knew what she had to do. "I wish for my village to have abundant rain, so that our crops may grow, and my people will no longer suffer," Elara said, her voice filled with hope. The voice was silent for a moment, and then it spoke again. "Your wish is noble, Elara. The moonflower shall grant it." As the words faded into the night, the petals of the moonflower began to glow even brighter. Suddenly, a beam of light shot up from the flower, reaching toward the sky. The clouds gathered, dark and heavy, and moments later, a gentle rain began to fall. Elara smiled. Her heart filled with joy. She had done it, she had found the moonflower and saved her village. The next morning, when Elara returned to the village, the rain was still falling softly. The villagers rejoiced, for the drought was over. They asked Elara how it had happened, but she simply smiled and said, "Sometimes, all it takes is a little bit of hope and a lot of courage." And from that day on, the Whispering Woods were no longer a place of mystery and fear, but a symbol of hope and wonder. And Elara? She became a legend, just like the moonflower itself. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sky shimmered with countless stars every night, there was a small village named Starlight. The villagers of Starlight were known for their wisdom and their deep connection to the night sky, which they believed was filled with magic and wonder. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn had always been fascinated by the stars. Every evening, he would lie on the grass and gaze up at the night sky, dreaming of adventures beyond the village. One evening, as Finn was stargazing, he noticed a single star that seemed to shine brighter than the others. It twinkled with a mesmerizing, golden light. Finn was so entranced by its brilliance that he lost track of time. Suddenly, the star began to descend slowly, landing gently in front of him. To Finn's astonishment, the star transformed into a tiny, radiant figure, a fairy with delicate wings that glowed like the night sky. She introduced herself as Lyra, the Star Fairy. "Greetings, Finn. I've come to seek your help," she said with a voice like a soft chime. Finn, wide-eyed with excitement, asked, "How can I help you, Lyra?" Lyra explained that she was on a quest to find the Starry Compass, a magical artifact that had been lost for centuries. The Starry Compass was said to have the power to guide anyone to their heart's desire. It was hidden in a mystical land beyond the forest, protected by enchanted creatures and magical puzzles. "I need someone with a pure heart and a brave spirit to help me find it," Lyra said. "Will you join me on this quest?" Finn, eager for an adventure, agreed without hesitation. Lyra sprinkled some stardust over Finn, and they set off on their journey. Their first challenge was to cross the Whispering River, which was known for its mysterious currents and enchanted creatures. As they reached the riverbank, a group of playful water sprites appeared, their laughter echoing through the forest. "Welcome to the Whispering River," said one sprite. "To cross, you must solve our riddle. Answer correctly, and the path will be revealed." Lyra and Finn listened carefully as the sprite spoke the riddle. "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Finn thought hard, and then his eyes lit up with realization. "A map," he exclaimed. The sprites cheered, and a shimmering bridge made of moonlight appeared across the river. Finn and Lyra crossed safely to the other side. Their next challenge took them to the Forest of Echoes, a magical forest where every sound was repeated by the trees. In the center of the forest stood a grand oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was locked with a combination of melodies. Lyra whispered, "We must play the right tune to open the door. Listen to the echoes and follow their melody." Finn listened carefully to the repeating echoes of the forest. He remembered the lullabies his grandmother used to sing and began humming a gentle tune. The echoes harmonized with his melody, and the grand oak tree's door slowly creaked open. Inside the oak tree, they found a golden chest with intricate designs. Finn opened the chest, revealing a shimmering star-shaped key, the key to the Starry Compass. Lyra's eyes sparkled with joy. "The Starry Compass must be hidden in the celestial caves," Lyra explained. "We're almost there." With the star-shaped key in hand, Finn and Lyra made their way to the celestial caves, which were illuminated by the soft glow of countless crystals. Inside the caves, they faced one final test, a labyrinth of mirrors that reflected light in every direction. To find their way, they had to use the star-shaped key to align the mirrors and create a beam of light that would guide them to the hidden chamber. After some effort, Finn and Lyra succeeded in aligning the mirrors. The beam of light revealed a hidden passage leading to a small, enchanting chamber. In the center of the chamber stood the Starry Compass, glowing with a warm, golden light. Lyra and Finn approached the compass. As they touched it, the compass spun gently and then pointed towards a distant part of the sky. The compass's glow brightened, filling the chamber with a soft, comforting light. "You have done it, Finn!" Lyra exclaimed. "The Starry Compass is now in our hands. With this, we can guide people to their heart's desires and bring hope and joy to the world." Lyra thanked Finn for his bravery and kind heart. As a token of gratitude, she gifted him a small star-shaped pendant that would always remind him of their adventure. As Finn returned to Starlight, the village was abuzz with excitement about his journey. He shared his tale, and the villagers celebrated the return of the Starry Compass. From that day on, Finn was known as the boy who helped find the starry compass. The compass's magic brought prosperity and hope to the kingdom, and Finn's bravery became a cherished story passed down through generations. And every night, when Finn looked up at the stars, he felt a special connection to the magical adventure he had experienced and the fairy who had guided him on his journey. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by rolling hills and verdant meadows, there was an ancient tree known as the Whispering Willow. The tree was revered by the villagers for its enchanting ability to communicate with those who sought its wisdom. The willow's branches swayed with a gentle grace, and its leaves rustled softly, carrying messages from the wind. In this village lived a kind-hearted young woman named Clara. Clara was known for her compassion and her willingness to help others, but she had always felt a sense of restlessness and a longing for adventure. She often dreamed of exploring distant lands and discovering hidden secrets, but her responsibilities at home kept her grounded. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Clara visited the Whispering Willow to seek guidance about her dreams. She sat beneath the tree's sprawling branches and closed her eyes, listening to the soothing whispers carried by the wind. "Whispering Willow," Clara said softly, "I feel a deep longing in my heart to explore and discover new things. Can you help me find my path?" The willow's leaves rustled with a gentle sigh, and a soft, melodic voice spoke from the tree. "Clara, your heart is full of dreams and wonder. To find the path you seek, you must embark on a journey beyond the village, guided by the stars and your inner light. Follow the path of moonlit petals, and you will find what you seek." With a renewed sense of purpose, Clara decided to follow the Whispering Willow's advice. That night, she packed a small satchel with essentials and set out under the light of the full moon. As she walked, she noticed that the moonlight illuminated a path of glowing petals leading into the forest. The path of moonlit petals guided Clara through the forest, where she encountered magical creatures, a wise old owl who gave her directions, a playful fox who shared a riddle, and a gentle deer who offered her a map of the stars. Each encounter provided Clara with valuable insights and encouragement. After several days of travel, Clara reached a hidden glade at the heart of the forest. In the center of the glade stood a magnificent crystal fountain, its waters shimmering with an ethereal light. Around the fountain, the moonlit petals formed a radiant circle. As Clara approached the fountain, she felt a sense of awe and wonder. The fountain's waters sparkled with the light of countless stars, and the air was filled with a soft, harmonious melody. Clara knelt by the fountain and made a heartfelt wish to find her true purpose and fulfill her dreams. Suddenly, the waters of the fountain began to swirl and rise, forming a beautiful, glowing figure. It was the spirit of the Whispering Willow, appearing before Clara in its true form, a radiant being of light and grace. "Clara," the spirit said, "you have followed the path with courage and an open heart. The journey you have undertaken has revealed your inner strength and determination. The true magic lies within you, and your dreams are a reflection of your heart's desires. To find your purpose, you must continue to embrace the journey with the same spirit of adventure and kindness." The spirit touched Clara's forehead with a gentle, luminous hand, and a sense of clarity and peace washed over her. Clara understood that her true purpose was not just to seek adventure but to bring light and joy to others along her journey. With a heart full of newfound wisdom, Clara returned to her village. She shared her experiences with the villagers and used her knowledge and compassion to help them in new and creative ways. She organized festivals to celebrate their traditions, started a community garden to bring people together, and used her adventures to inspire others to follow their dreams. The village thrived with Clara's contributions, and her adventures became the stuff of legends. The Whispering Willow continued to stand tall, its whispers carrying messages of hope and inspiration to those who sought its wisdom. And so, Clara lived a life filled with purpose and fulfillment, knowing that the true magic of her journey lay not just in discovering new places but in touching the lives of those around her. The Whispering Willow's lessons guided her every step of the way, and her story became a cherished tale in the village, a reminder of the magic that lies within each of us. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom nestled between the rolling hills and the whispering woods, there was a hidden grove that shimmered with magic. This grove was renowned for its ancient, mystical tree called the Whispering Tree. The tree was said to grant wishes, but only to those who approached it with a pure heart. In a quaint village at the edge of this forest lived a kind-hearted young girl named Alara. She was known for her generosity and bravery. One day, while helping her grandmother tend to their vegetable garden, Alara heard a sorrowful cry coming from the edge of the forest. Following the sound, she found a tiny, injured fox trapped under a fallen branch. With great care, she freed the fox and tended to its wounds. To her surprise, the fox transformed into a graceful fairy. "Thank you, dear Alara," said the fairy, her wings sparkling in the dappled sunlight. "I am Lumina, and I am forever grateful for your kindness. I shall grant you one wish, for you have shown great compassion." Alara thought for a moment. She didn't wish for wealth or power, but for something that would help everyone in her village. She wished for a bountiful harvest for her people, for the village was suffering from a terrible drought. Lumina smiled and granted her wish, promising that the village's crops would flourish like never before. As Alara returned home, she found the village abuzz with excitement. The fields were lush with golden crops, and the villagers rejoiced at the unexpected abundance. Alara's heart swelled with joy, not for her own good fortune, but for the happiness of her people. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Alara decided to visit the Whispering Tree to thank it for its magic. She entered the grove, where the air was filled with a sweet, soothing melody, and approached the grand, ancient tree. The Whispering Tree had leaves that sparkled like emeralds and bark that seemed to shimmer with a golden hue. Alara placed her hands on the tree and closed her eyes, whispering her gratitude. Suddenly, the tree's leaves rustled, and a soft, melodious voice spoke, "Dear Alara, you have shown great selflessness. Your wish has brought joy to many, and now, it is your turn to receive a blessing." Alara opened her eyes to find a small, golden acorn nestled in the tree's roots. The Whispering Tree continued, "This acorn holds the power to grant a new wish. Use it wisely, for it will reveal its true magic only when needed most." Alara took the acorn home and kept it safely hidden, knowing that she might need its magic someday. Months turned into years, and the village thrived under the care of its beloved residents. Yet, the drought became a distant memory, and the enchanted grove was visited less frequently. One fateful day, a terrible storm hit the kingdom, causing rivers to overflow and lands to flood. Alara's village was in danger of being washed away. The once bountiful fields were now submerged, and hope seemed to be slipping away. Remembering the golden acorn, Alara hurried to the grove. With a heavy heart, she approached the Whispering Tree and placed the acorn in its roots. The tree's leaves began to shimmer more brightly, and the entire grove was filled with a radiant light. The acorn began to glow with a warm, golden light. Alara, driven by her love for her village, made a heartfelt wish for the safety and protection of her home and people. The Whispering Tree's magic swirled around her, and the golden acorn transformed into a magnificent, shimmering barrier that shielded the village from the raging floodwaters. As the storm passed and the skies cleared, the village emerged unscathed. The floodwaters receded, and the fields were soon recovering. The villagers celebrated Alara's bravery and the miracle that had saved them. In the years that followed, the Whispering Tree continued to thrive, and Alara's name became legendary in the kingdom. She never forgot the lesson she learned, that true magic lies not in the wishes we make for ourselves but in the selfless acts of kindness and love we offer to others. And so, Alara's story was passed down through generations, a reminder of the magic that exists in every kind heart and the power of selfless wishes. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great, ancient forest, there was a tree known as the Whispering Tree. It was said that the tree could speak to those who approached it with a pure heart and a humble wish. The villagers believed that the tree held secrets and magic that could change their lives. In the village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his kindness and his love for helping others. Despite his humble means, he always tried to bring joy to those around him. The village, however, was struggling with a harsh winter, and many of the villagers were facing hardships. Finn wanted to do something to help, but he didn't know where to start. One snowy morning, as Finn walked through the village, he overheard the village elder speaking about the Whispering Tree. The elder mentioned that the tree had not been visited for many years, and its magic might be the key to bringing relief to their struggling village. Determined to find a way to help, Finn set out to find the Whispering Tree. He wrapped himself in a warm cloak and braved the cold, following the winding path into the heart of the ancient forest. The snow crunched beneath his boots, and the trees stood tall and silent, their branches heavy with frost. After a long and arduous journey, Finn finally reached a clearing where the Whispering Tree stood. The tree was enormous, with branches that seemed to touch the sky and leaves that shimmered with a faint, silver glow. Finn approached the tree with reverence and said softly, "Great Whispering Tree, I have come to seek your help for my village. We are suffering, and I wish to bring them relief." As Finn spoke, the tree's leaves rustled gently, and a soothing voice emerged from the trunk. "Young Finn, to grant your wish, you must prove your heart's true desire. There are 3 trials you must complete, each testing your kindness, courage, and wisdom." Finn nodded, ready to accept the challenge. The first trial was the trial of kindness. The tree guided Finn to a small, icy stream where he found a family of ducks struggling to find food. Their pond had frozen over, and they were hungry. Finn used his scarf to create a makeshift feeding area and gathered some seeds and crumbs to feed the ducks. The family of ducks quacked gratefully, and Finn felt a warm glow of satisfaction. The second trial was the trial of courage. The Whispering Tree led Finn to a dark, foreboding cave where a mysterious, magical creature was said to dwell. Inside the cave, Finn encountered a timid, glowing fox caught in a net. Though the cave was dark and eerie, Finn approached the fox with bravery, freeing it from the net and calming its fears. The fox, now free, showed Finn a hidden path back to the forest's edge. The final trial was the trial of wisdom. The Whispering Tree presented Finn with a riddle carved into a stone, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Star. Finn pondered the riddle carefully and soon realized the answer. "A fire," he said with confidence. The tree's branches rustled approvingly, and a soft, radiant light enveloped Finn. With all 3 trials completed, the Whispering Tree spoke once more. "You have shown kindness, courage, and wisdom. Your heart is true. I will grant your wish." The tree's magic swirled around Finn, and a gentle, sparkling snow began to fall from its branches. The snow carried a magical warmth that spread through the forest, melting the frost and bringing a gentle springtime breeze to the village. Finn returned to his village to find that the harsh winter had lifted, and the land was now fertile and lush. The villagers were amazed and overjoyed, their hardships eased by the unexpected miracle. Finn shared his story of the Whispering Tree and the trials he had faced. From that day on, the village flourished, and Finn's kindness was celebrated. The Whispering Tree became a symbol of hope and renewal, and the tale of Finn's bravery and the magical trials was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within. And so, the village thrived once more, its fields rich and its people joyful, forever grateful for the heart of a young boy who sought to bring light and warmth to those in need. The end. In a quaint village surrounded by lush meadows and a sparkling river, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. It was said that this tree could talk to those who truly listened. The villagers, though fascinated, only spoke of it in hushed tones, for they believed it was a tree of magic. One day, a kind-hearted girl named Elara moved to the village with her family. Elara loved nature and spent her days exploring the woods and fields. One sunny afternoon, she wandered over to the Whispering Willow, intrigued by the stories she had heard. As Elara sat under the willow's drooping branches, she closed her eyes and listened carefully. At first, there was only the sound of rustling leaves. But then, a soft, melodious voice spoke. "Welcome, Elara," the tree said gently. "I've been waiting for someone who truly cares for the world around her." Elara opened her eyes in surprise. "You can talk?" Yes, the willow replied with a sigh. I am the guardian of the forest, but my magic is fading. A precious gem, the heart of the forest, has been stolen by a greedy wizard. Without it, my power wanes, and the forest's magic diminishes. Elara's heart went out to the willow. What can I do to help? The heart of the forest is hidden deep within the enchanted cavern, guarded by magical creatures. To retrieve it, you must solve 3 riddles, said the willow. Do you accept this quest? Without hesitation, Elara nodded. I will do my best. The willow gave her a silver compass that glowed softly. Follow this compass. It will guide you on your journey. Elara thanked the willow and set off, guided by the compass. She ventured into the dense forest, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets. After a while, she reached the entrance to the enchanted cavern. The entrance was guarded by a friendly dragon named Ignis. I'll let you enter, Ignis said, but only if you solve my riddle. Are you ready? Elara nodded. Ignis's eyes glowed as he recited the riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Elara thought for a moment. A fire, she exclaimed. Ignis's scales shimmered with approval. Correct. You may enter. Inside the cavern, Elara saw glowing crystals and heard the gentle hum of magic. She followed the compass until she came to a shimmering pool with a second guardian, a graceful water nymph named Naya. Hello, Naya said. To pass, you must answer my riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Elara pondered the riddle and then smiled. A joke. Naya clapped her hands in delight. Well done. You may proceed. Elara continued deeper into the cavern until she reached a majestic hall filled with soft, golden light. At the center was a pedestal with the heart of the forest glowing brightly. But guarding it was a wise old owl named Orin. Before you take the heart, Orin said, you must solve one final riddle. The more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Elara thought deeply and then answered confidently. Footsteps. Orin's eyes twinkled. You have answered all 3 riddles correctly. The heart of the forest is yours to take. Elara carefully picked up the heart of the forest, feeling its warmth. She thanked Orin and made her way back to the whispering willow. When Elara returned, the willow's branches seemed to glow with renewed strength. The tree's voice was filled with gratitude. You have saved the forest's magic, said the willow. As a reward, I will grant you a single wish. Elara thought about the village and the forest that had become her home. I wish for the forest to always be protected and for the village to flourish, she said. The willow's branches shimmered, and a gentle breeze carried Elara's wish through the land. The forest grew even more vibrant, and the village thrived with the magic restored. From that day on, Elara continued to explore and care for the forest, and she became known as the village's guardian. The whispering willow stood tall, its magic ever strong, and the villagers would often hear the rustling leaves telling stories of bravery and kindness. And so, Elara's tale was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that even the smallest acts of courage and compassion could restore the magic in the world. Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by rolling hills and meadows, there was a tranquil lake known as Moonlit Lake. Every night, when the moonlight touched its surface, the lake would sparkle with magical colors, and it was said that the lake held the power to grant a single wish to those who showed true bravery and kindness. In this village lived a young girl named Lila, known for her gentle spirit and her love for animals. Her little brother, Tom, had fallen ill with a mysterious ailment that none of the village healers could cure. Lila, desperate to help Tom, decided to seek out the magic of Moonlit Lake in the hopes of finding a cure. One evening, under the light of a full moon, Lila set out for the lake. She walked through the meadows, her heart filled with both hope and anxiety. As she reached the edge of the lake, she marveled at the way the moonlight made the water glisten like a blanket of stars. A soft, shimmering voice greeted her. Welcome, Lila. I am the spirit of Moonlit Lake. What brings you to my waters? Lila took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. I have come to make a wish for my little brother Tom. He is very ill, and I hope that the magic of this lake can heal him. The spirit of the lake responded gently, to receive the magic of the lake, you must first prove your bravery and kindness. There are 3 tasks you must complete. Only then will your wish be granted. Lila nodded, her resolve firm. I will do whatever it takes. The first task led Lila into the enchanted forest, where she encountered a family of deer trapped by a fallen tree. The deer were frightened and unable to escape. Lila, with her strong will and gentle hands, carefully removed the branches and lifted the tree enough for the deer to get free. The grateful deer offered her a glowing feather as a token of their thanks. The second task was to cross a wide, raging river. The river was known for its swift currents and treacherous waters. As Lila approached the riverbank, she saw a family of beavers struggling to build a dam against the strong current. Without hesitation, Lila joined them, helping to reinforce the dam with sturdy branches and stones. Her hard work and determination helped the beavers complete their dam, creating a safe crossing point for her. The third and final task took Lila to the Whispering Grove, a place where the trees were known to speak in hushed tones. There, Lila encountered a grumpy old troll who guarded a bridge. The troll demanded a riddle be solved to pass. Answer me this, the troll grumbled. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Lila thought carefully and then smiled. A stamp. The troll's eyes widened in surprise, and he allowed her to cross the bridge with a nod of approval. With all 3 tasks completed, Lila returned to Moonlit Lake, carrying the glowing feather from the deer and the heartfelt thanks of the beavers and the troll. The spirit of the lake appeared once more, its voice warm and reassuring. You have shown great bravery and kindness, Lila. Your heart is pure, and you have fulfilled the tasks set before you. Your wish shall now be granted. The spirit waved its hand, and a soft, golden light enveloped Lila. The light shimmered and then traveled through the night, reaching her home and gently touching Tom. As the light faded, Tom stirred and awoke, feeling stronger and healthier. When Lila returned home, she found Tom smiling and full of energy. The village celebrated the miraculous recovery, and Lila's bravery and kindness became a cherished story among the villagers. The Moonlit Lake continued to sparkle under the moonlight, its magic a reminder that true courage and kindness could bring about the most wonderful changes. In a quaint village surrounded by misty hills and sparkling streams, there lived a humble potter named Finn. Finn was known throughout the village for his exquisite pottery, but there was one piece that stood out above all, an ancient, ornate teapot that had been passed down through generations. The teapot was unlike any other. It had delicate, intricate designs of swirling vines and tiny, shimmering stars. Legend had it that the teapot possessed magical powers, but Finn had never truly believed in such tales. He used it to serve tea to guests, finding joy in its beauty but doubting the stories. One chilly autumn evening, as Finn prepared for the village's annual harvest festival, he noticed something strange. The teapot began to glow softly, and a faint, melodious hum filled the room. Curious, Finn touched the teapot, and a warm, gentle light enveloped him. Suddenly, Finn found himself in a wondrous, otherworldly garden. The sky was a swirl of pastel colors, and flowers of every hue danced in the breeze. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent, golden tree with leaves that sparkled like diamonds. A graceful fairy, with wings that shimmered like the morning dew, fluttered down and introduced herself as Lumina, the guardian of the enchanted garden. She explained that the teapot was not just a vessel for tea but a magical portal to a realm that needed Finn's help. The enchanted garden was in danger. An evil sorcerer named Malor had cast a spell to drain the garden of its magic. Without the magic, the garden would wither, and the fairy realm would fall into darkness. Lumina needed Finn's help to retrieve 3 magical items that could restore the garden's enchantment. The first item was the Moonlight Crystal, hidden in the depths of a glistening lake. Finn bravely ventured to the lake and, with Lumina's guidance, found the crystal beneath the shimmering water. Its light was soft and soothing, like moonbeams captured in a gem. The second item was the Sunflower of Hope, which grew atop the highest peak in the realm. The journey was arduous, but Finn's determination and Lumina's encouragement helped him reach the summit. There, amidst a field of golden sunflowers, he carefully picked the one that glowed with a radiant, hopeful light. The final item was the Heart of the Garden, a rare blossom that bloomed only once every 100 years. To find it, Finn and Lumina had to navigate through a maze of thorny vines and trickling streams. Their path was fraught with challenges, but Finn's bravery and Lumina's wisdom saw them through. At last, they discovered the Heart of the Garden, a flower that pulsed with a gentle, rhythmic glow. With the 3 magical items in hand, Finn and Lumina returned to the enchanted garden. They placed the Moonlight Crystal, Sunflower of Hope, and Heart of the Garden in their designated spots beneath the golden tree. As they did, the garden began to shimmer and glow, its magic returning with a vibrant brilliance. Malor, the evil sorcerer, appeared, furious that his spell had been undone. But the garden's renewed magic was too powerful for him to overcome. With a final burst of light, Malor was banished from the realm, and peace was restored. Lumina thanked Finn with a warm embrace and offered him a small, silver locket as a token of gratitude. "This locket contains a fragment of the garden's magic," she said. "It will allow you to visit the enchanted garden whenever you wish." Finn returned to his village with a heart full of wonder and a story that would be told for generations. The teapot remained in his shop, still glowing faintly from time to time, a reminder of the magical adventure that had forever changed his life. The village celebrated the return of their hero, and the harvest festival that year was the most joyful ever. Finn's pottery thrived, and the teapot became a cherished heirloom, its magic a symbol of hope and adventure. And so, the enchanted garden remained a secret realm of beauty and magic, waiting for the next soul with a brave heart and kind spirit to discover its wonders. Once upon a time, in a land where the moonlight shimmered on every leaf and the stars sang lullabies to the night, there was a hidden orchard known as the Moonlit Orchard. This orchard was famous for its magical fruit, which could grant a single wish to anyone who found it under the light of a full moon. In a small village near the orchard lived a boy named Elric. Elric was a dreamer with a heart full of wonder. His greatest wish was to bring joy and prosperity to his village, which had fallen on hard times. The villagers had heard whispers of the Moonlit Orchard and its magical fruit, but no one had ever managed to find it. One night, as the full moon began to rise, Elric decided to embark on a quest to find the orchard and make his wish. He packed a small bag with a few essentials and set off under the silvery light of the moon. The journey to the Moonlit Orchard was filled with enchantments. Elric walked through fields of glowing flowers and past streams that sparkled like liquid stardust. The path seemed to shimmer and change with each step, as if the moon itself was guiding him. As Elric ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. The owl's eyes glowed with the light of the moon. "Where do you go, young traveler?" the owl asked in a voice that sounded like rustling leaves. "I seek the Moonlit Orchard," Elric replied. "I wish to bring prosperity to my village." The owl studied him for a moment before nodding. "To find the orchard, you must pass 3 trials, each testing your heart and courage." Elric nodded, determined to succeed. The owl pointed him towards the first trial. The first trial was a bridge made of moonlight that spanned a chasm filled with mist. As Elric stepped onto the bridge, it began to sway and shimmer. He took a deep breath and carefully made his way across, focusing on the light of the moon to guide his steps. Just as he reached the other side, the bridge vanished behind him. The second trial was a meadow filled with luminescent flowers that whispered secrets to the wind. Elric needed to find a single golden flower hidden among them. As he carefully examined each flower, he heard their soft whispers, but he didn't let them distract him. Finally, he spotted the golden flower nestled in the tall grass and picked it gently. The final trial was the most challenging. Elric arrived at a glade where a majestic, ancient tree stood, its branches glowing with moonlight. The tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice. "To pass this trial, you must give up something precious to you." Elric thought about his family, his friends, and his dreams. He realized that what mattered most to him was the happiness of his village. With a heavy heart, he removed a small locket from around his neck, a gift from his grandmother. He placed it at the base of the tree as a symbol of his sacrifice. The tree's branches swayed, and a gentle breeze whispered through the leaves. "Your heart is pure, and your sacrifice is great. You have passed the trials. The moonlit orchard is now yours to find." Following the guidance of the moonlight, Elric soon reached the moonlit orchard. The trees were laden with fruit that glowed softly in the moonlight. He picked a single fruit and held it close, feeling its warmth and magic. As he closed his eyes and made his wish for his village, a gentle breeze carried his words through the night. The orchard's magic took flight, spreading joy and prosperity across the land. The village awoke to find their fields lush and their homes filled with happiness. Elric returned to his village as a hero, but he never forgot the lessons of the moonlit orchard. He continued to help others, always guided by the pure heart and courage that had brought him to the magical orchard in the first place. And so, the village thrived, and the moonlit orchard remained a beacon of hope and magic in the moonlit nights, reminding all who sought its wonders that true magic comes from the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a land of lush meadows and ancient forests, there was a tranquil village named Greenleaf. Nestled at the edge of the village was a mystical lake known as Silver Lake. Its waters sparkled like liquid starlight, and the villagers believed it was guarded by a benevolent spirit who kept the land fertile and the village prosperous. The guardian of Silver Lake was said to be a graceful and elusive being named Lyra, a nymph of the waters who appeared only when the village faced a great challenge. The lake was not only a source of beauty but also of sustenance, as its waters were rumored to grant blessings to those who respected and cherished them. One year, a dreadful drought struck Greenleaf. The once lush fields turned barren, and the villagers were desperate to save their crops and their livelihood. The villagers spoke of the legend of Lyra, and they knew they needed her help to restore the balance. But Lyra had not been seen for many years, and no one knew how to summon her. Among the villagers was a young boy named Finn, known for his curiosity and bravery. Finn loved the stories of Lyra and felt a deep connection to Silver Lake. Determined to save his village, Finn decided to embark on a journey to find Lyra and seek her help. He set off early one morning, carrying a small backpack filled with provisions and a heart full of hope. Following the map he had drawn from old tales, Finn made his way to Silver Lake. As he approached, he noticed the lake's once sparkling waters had dimmed, reflecting the parched land around it. Standing at the edge of the lake, Finn called out, "Lyra, guardian of Silver Lake, I beseech you. Our village is in dire need of your help. Please, show yourself and restore the magic of the lake." As Finn's voice echoed across the still waters, a soft breeze began to stir, and the lake's surface shimmered. From the center of the lake, a mist began to rise, and Lyra appeared, her form ethereal and shimmering like moonlight on water. "Brave Finn," Lyra said in a voice like a gentle ripple, "why have you called me?" Finn explained the plight of his village, describing the drought and the suffering of the people. He spoke with sincerity and hope, asking Lyra to use her magic to bring rain and restore the land. Lyra listened intently and then said, "To restore the balance, you must first complete 3 tasks that will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness. Only then will the magic of Silver Lake be fully restored." Finn nodded, ready to undertake the tasks. Lyra guided him to the first challenge, a dense forest where a powerful storm had uprooted trees and caused chaos. His task was to help restore the forest. Finn worked tirelessly, clearing debris and helping animals find shelter. He showed great perseverance and compassion, earning the respect of the forest creatures. For the second task, Lyra led Finn to a mountain cave where a group of lost fireflies had been trapped. The fireflies' light was needed to rekindle the magic of the lake. Finn carefully navigated the dark cave, gently guiding the fireflies back to their home. His kindness and patience helped the fireflies safely return to their glowing haven. The final task was to climb the highest peak in the land and recover a rare flower known as the moon blossom, which only bloomed under the light of a full moon. The journey was arduous, but Finn's determination never wavered. When he finally reached the peak, he found the flower in full bloom, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. Finn carefully picked the flower and made his way back to Silver Lake. With all the tasks complete, Finn returned to the lake with the moon blossom in hand. Lyra accepted the flower and thanked Finn for his efforts. "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and kindness," Lyra said. "The magic of Silver Lake shall now be restored." As Lyra placed the moon blossom into the lake's waters, a brilliant light spread across the surface. Rain began to fall gently over Greenleaf, and the land started to green once more. The villagers rejoiced as their crops flourished and their spirits were lifted. Lyra smiled at Finn. "Your bravery has saved your village, and the magic of Silver Lake will continue to protect and nourish Greenleaf." With that, Lyra disappeared into the mist, her task complete. Finn returned to his village as a hero, and the story of his adventure was celebrated for generations. The villagers continued to honor Silver Lake and its guardian, knowing that true magic lies in the courage and selflessness of those who are willing to make a difference. And so, Greenleaf thrived once more under the care of Silver Lake, with Finn's tale serving as a timeless reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that can be found in even the most challenging of quests. In a lush, green valley surrounded by majestic mountains and sparkling streams, there was a peaceful village named Rivermist. The villagers were known for their harmony with nature and their joyful spirits. Among them was a young woman named Alara, who worked as a skilled cartographer. She had a special gift for drawing maps that captured not just the geography but the essence of the places she charted. One misty morning, while Alara was exploring a forgotten trail on the outskirts of the village, she stumbled upon an old, moss-covered chest buried beneath a tangle of ivy. The chest was intricately carved with symbols of stars and compass roses. Alara's heart raced with excitement as she carefully pried it open. Inside, she found an ornate compass that seemed to hum with a gentle, magical energy. The compass was unlike any Alara had ever seen. Its needle spun slowly, pointing not just north but to something elusive. An inscription on the back of the compass read, "Follow the compass to where hearts are true, and secrets of the world will be revealed to you." Curious and intrigued, Alara decided to embark on a quest to discover where the compass would lead. She packed a small satchel with essentials, some food, a warm cloak, and her trusty map-making tools. With the enchanted compass in hand, she set off towards the unknown. As Alara journeyed through forests and across meadows, the compass needle would occasionally spin and then settle, always pointing her towards an ever-changing direction. She followed its guidance through deep, whispering woods and over rolling hills until she reached the edge of a vast, shimmering lake. The compass led Alara to a small island in the middle of the lake, accessible only by a narrow stone bridge. On the island stood a grand, ancient tree with golden leaves that glistened in the sunlight. At the base of the tree was a large, intricately carved door, adorned with celestial motifs similar to those on the chest she had found. Alara approached the door and noticed a keyhole that matched the shape of the compass. With a deep breath, she placed the compass into the keyhole. The compass clicked into place, and the door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in a warm, golden light. Inside the chamber was a beautiful, ornate mirror framed with twinkling gems. The mirror's surface was not a typical reflection but seemed to ripple like water. Alara approached it cautiously, and as she did, the mirror's surface began to show scenes of distant lands and fantastical creatures. A voice, gentle and melodious, spoke from the mirror. "Welcome, Alara. You have followed the compass with a heart full of curiosity and courage. The mirror reveals the heart's true desires and the wisdom one seeks." Alara looked into the mirror and saw not just landscapes but the faces of her friends and family. She saw visions of her village thriving and her maps guiding others to new and wondrous places. The mirror showed her that her true desire was not merely to uncover hidden places but to use her talents to enrich and uplift those around her. The voice continued, "The compass has guided you to this moment. Now, you have the power to share the secrets you have discovered with those who seek to explore the world and learn from its wonders." With a sense of clarity and purpose, Alara understood that the mirror's gift was not just knowledge but the ability to inspire and guide others. She thanked the mirror and left the chamber, taking with her the realization that her journey was as much about self-discovery as it was about exploration. Alara returned to Rivamist, where she began to use her newfound wisdom to create detailed and enchanted maps that revealed not only geographical features but also hidden wonders and magical places. Her maps became cherished treasures, guiding explorers and adventurers to places of beauty and discovery. The village of Rivermist flourished as a center of learning and wonder, and Alara's legacy lived on through the countless maps she created. The enchanted compass remained in a place of honor in her home, a reminder of the journey that had led her to understand the true essence of her heart's desires. And so, the tale of Alara and the enchanted compass became a beloved story, told to each new generation as a reminder that the greatest discoveries come from within and that true guidance comes from following one's heart with courage and integrity. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, enchanted forest, there was a hidden lake known as Silver Lake. The lake was named for its surface, which shimmered like liquid silver under the moonlight. The villagers who lived nearby had heard tales of the lake's magical properties, but it had remained a mystery for generations. In the village of Meadowbrook lived a courageous girl named Arya. Arya had a deep connection with nature and often explored the forest, talking to the animals and tending to the plants. She had grown up listening to her grandmother's stories about Silver Lake and its mystical powers. Her grandmother had once told her that the lake could reveal great secrets to those who were pure of heart and sought it with a noble purpose. One summer evening, a severe drought struck Meadowbrook. The fields dried up, and the village's well went dry. The villagers were worried and unsure of how to save their crops and livestock. Arya decided that if Silver Lake truly held a secret that could help, she would find it. With a heart full of hope and determination, she set out towards the forest to seek the lake. As Arya ventured deeper into the forest, she followed the gentle, musical notes of a mysterious melody that seemed to guide her way. The melody grew stronger as she neared the heart of the forest, where the trees were taller and the air was cooler. After a long trek, Arya arrived at a hidden glade bathed in the silver light of the full moon. In the center of the glade was Silver Lake, its surface reflecting the moonlight like a sheet of shimmering silver. The lake was surrounded by ancient trees and glowing flowers, creating an aura of serene beauty. Arya approached the lake and knelt by its edge, peering into its depths. She spoke softly, "Great Silver Lake, I have come seeking your help. My village is suffering from a terrible drought, and we need your magic to restore our land." As she finished speaking, the water in the lake began to swirl, and a soft, ethereal voice echoed from its depths. "To save your village, you must first find the heart of the lake. It lies hidden where the silver moonlight meets the forest's heart." Arya looked around and noticed a silver beam of moonlight shining through a gap in the trees. She followed the beam to a large, ancient oak tree at the edge of the glade. The tree's trunk was covered in intricate carvings of stars and moons. At its base, Arya discovered a small, hidden door. With a bit of effort, she opened the door to find a staircase descending into the earth. Arya carefully made her way down the stairs, which led to an underground chamber bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a beautiful, crystalline heart resting upon it. The heart of the lake glowed with a gentle, pulsating light. As Arya approached the pedestal, the chamber filled with a soothing, melodic sound. The heart of the lake seemed to resonate with the melody, and Arya felt a warm, comforting energy enveloping her. She carefully took the heart of the lake and felt its power surging through her. The voice from the lake spoke again, "Return to your village with the heart, and let its magic flow into the land." Arya made her way back to Meadowbrook with the heart of the lake. As she arrived at the village, she held the heart high above her head. A soft, radiant light emanated from it, and the ground began to tremble gently. The once dry well started to fill with fresh, clean water, and the parched fields began to turn green once more. The villagers gathered in amazement as the magic of the heart of the lake restored their land. The crops began to grow, and the river that ran through the village once again flowed with sparkling water. The village was saved from the drought, and the people celebrated with joy and gratitude. Arya was hailed as a hero, but she humbly credited the magic of Silver Lake and the guidance it had provided. The story of Arya's bravery and the magic of Silver Lake became a beloved tale in Meadowbrook, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of hope, courage, and the wonders of the natural world. And so, Meadowbrook thrived once more, its fields lush and its waters flowing, forever touched by the secret of the Silver Lake and the courageous heart of a young girl who believed in its magic. The end. In the heart of the Whispering Woods, where the trees seemed to tell secrets to those who listened closely, lay a quaint village named Willowbrook. The village was renowned for its serenity and charm, and its people lived in harmony with the forest. The villagers often spoke of a magical lantern that was said to grant a single wish each century to those who found it. The tale of the enchanted lantern had become legend, whispered around campfires and told to children as they drifted off to sleep. It was said that the lantern was hidden deep within the forest, protected by a series of challenges designed to test the heart and spirit of the seeker. One bright morning, a young girl named Amelia, with eyes as curious as the morning sun and a heart full of dreams, decided to seek out the legendary lantern. Her village had fallen on hard times, and Amelia wished to use the lantern's magic to bring prosperity and joy back to Willowbrook. With a backpack full of essentials and a heart full of determination, Amelia ventured into the Whispering Woods. As she walked, the trees seemed to part just for her, guiding her deeper into the forest. The first challenge she encountered was a babbling brook that flowed with sparkling, crystal-clear water. On the other side of the brook stood a wise old turtle named Thaddeus, who was known to be the guardian of the brook. Thaddeus spoke in a slow, deliberate manner. To cross the brook, you must solve a riddle. Only then will the path appear. Amelia nodded and listened intently as Thaddeus recited the riddle. I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Whenever I go, darkness flies. What am I? Amelia thought for a moment and then answered confidently, a cloud. Thaddeus smiled and with a nod of approval, the water of the brook parted to reveal a stone path that led across. Amelia carefully made her way to the other side. As she continued her journey, Amelia reached the second challenge, a dense thicket of brambles and thorns, which seemed almost impassable. Standing at the entrance was a gentle deer named Elara, whose eyes shone with kindness. Elara spoke softly, to pass through the thicket, you must show your compassion. There is a small bird trapped in the brambles. Free it, and the path will open. Amelia approached the thicket and found the tiny bird, its feathers entangled in the thorny branches. With great care and patience, Amelia freed the bird and gently placed it on her outstretched hand. The bird chirped gratefully before flying off, and as it did, the brambles parted to reveal a clear path. The final challenge took Amelia to a serene, moonlit clearing. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. From within the hollow, a soft, melodic voice called out. The voice belonged to the Moonlight Fairy, who was the final guardian of the enchanted lantern. The Moonlight Fairy fluttered gracefully before Amelia and said, to find the lantern, you must perform a task of the heart. Share with me your most heartfelt wish. Amelia took a deep breath and spoke sincerely, my wish is to bring happiness and prosperity to my village, Willowbrook, so that everyone can live in peace and joy. The Moonlight Fairy's eyes sparkled with admiration. A wish made from the heart is a powerful thing. Follow me. The fairy led Amelia to a hidden alcove behind the oak tree, where the enchanted lantern rested on a pedestal bathed in moonlight. The lantern was adorned with intricate designs and glowed with a soft, warm light. Amelia reached out and took the lantern gently in her hands. The Moonlight Fairy nodded. You have proven yourself worthy of the lantern's magic. Make your wish, and it shall be granted. With a hopeful heart, Amelia whispered her wish into the lantern. The light within the lantern grew brighter and brighter until it enveloped the entire clearing. When the light finally faded, Amelia found herself back at the edge of the Whispering Woods. She returned to Willowbrook, and as she approached the village, she saw a wondrous transformation. The fields were lush with crops, the river sparkled with clear water, and the villagers greeted her with joyful smiles. the lantern's magic had indeed brought prosperity and happiness to Willowbrook. Amelia's bravery and pure-hearted wish became a cherished story in the village, and the enchanted lantern was placed in a special place of honor in the village square as a symbol of hope and the power of a kind heart. And so, Willowbrook thrived, and the legend of the enchanted lantern lived on, inspiring future generations to believe in the magic that lies within the power of a wish made from the heart. Once upon a time, in the faraway kingdom of Luminera, there was a land where the moon shone brighter than anywhere else. The moon's light painted everything in silver, turning the kingdom into a dazzling wonderland each night. At the heart of Luminera stood the moonlit castle, home to the kind and wise Queen Seraphina and her playful daughter, Princess Eloan. Every month, during the night of the moon's eclipse, the moonlight would reveal the moonstone, a magical gem said to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The moonstone was hidden in the Whispering Woods, a mystical forest known for its enchanting creatures and tricky paths. One evening, as the moon's eclipse approached, Princess Eloan decided to embark on a quest to find the moonstone. She believed that using the wish for the good of Luminera would be the greatest adventure of all. Her loyal friend, a clever and brave fox named Finn, eagerly joined her on this quest. With the moonlight guiding their way, Eloan and Finn set off for the Whispering Woods. The forest was bathed in a soft, silvery glow, and the trees whispered secrets as they ventured deeper. Their first challenge was the Maze of Moonbeams. This maze was a labyrinth of shimmering pathways that changed direction as they moved. To navigate through it, they needed to solve a riddle spoken by the maze's guardian, a wise old owl perched high in the trees. I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have eyes, yet I can see. I am not solid, yet I am known. What am I? Eloan and Finn thought carefully, and then Eloan answered, a shadow. The owl hooted approvingly, and the maze's pathways lit up, showing them the way through. Next, they arrived at the Glimmering River, a sparkling river that flowed with moonlit water and was guarded by a gentle water nymph. To cross the river, they needed to answer a question about the nature of light. What is the only thing that can travel faster than the speed of light, yet can't be seen or touched? Eloan pondered the question and then replied, a shadow. The water nymph smiled and conjured a glowing bridge of moonlight that allowed them to cross safely. The final challenge was the Cave of Echoes. This cave was filled with echoing whispers and glowing crystals. To reach the moonstone, they had to follow the echoes of a lullaby sung by the cave's guardian, a serene, mystical spirit. Eloan and Finn listened carefully to the echoes and followed the lullaby's melody through the cave's winding passages. They carefully navigated through the echoes and found themselves in a moonlit chamber. At the center of the chamber, resting upon a pedestal, was the moonstone. It glowed with a soft, enchanting light, illuminating the entire room. Eloan approached the moonstone with a heart full of hope and spoke her wish aloud, I wish for the prosperity and happiness of Luminera, so that every citizen may live in peace and joy. As Eloan's wish was spoken, the moonstone's light expanded, filling the cave and the forest with a brilliant, warm glow. The magic of the moonstone spread throughout Luminera, bringing abundant harvests, joy, and harmony to every corner of the kingdom. When Eloan and Finn returned to the moonlit castle, they found Luminera transformed. The kingdom was thriving, with lush fields and happy, content people. The story of their adventure and the magic of the moonstone became a beloved tale in Luminera, reminding everyone of the power of selfless wishes and the magic that shines from the heart. And so, the Whispering Woods and the moonlit castle remained symbols of wonder and enchantment, where dreams and wishes flourished under the light of the moon. The end. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Everglow, nestled between emerald hills and shimmering streams, there was a legend about a magical lantern. The Lantern of Wishes was said to have the power to grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who found it and used it with a pure heart. The lantern was hidden deep within the enchanted forest, a mystical place where the trees whispered secrets and the creatures spoke in riddles. For many years, the lantern had been lost, and the villagers often spoke of it in hushed tones, hoping that someone would someday find it and make a wish to bring prosperity to their village. In Everglow lived a kind and adventurous young woman named Lila. Lila was known for her generosity and her willingness to help anyone in need. She had always dreamed of embarking on a grand adventure and believed that finding the Lantern of Wishes could bring joy and hope to her village. One crisp autumn morning, Lila set out on her quest. Armed with a sturdy walking stick and a small satchel of provisions, she entered the enchanted forest. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a mischievous fairy named Faye, who fluttered around her with a glimmering trail of stardust. To find the Lantern of Wishes, Faye chimed, you must solve 3 riddles. Only then will you discover the path to the lantern. Faye's first riddle was, I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go outside. What am I? Lila thought for a moment and answered, a piano. Faye clapped her hands in delight. Well done. Here is the clue to the next challenge. Lila followed the clue and soon found herself at the edge of a serene, moonlit pond. Floating on the water was a golden lily pad with a shimmering pearl at its center. An old turtle named Thorn, who guarded the pond, awaited her. To proceed, Thorn said, you must solve another riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Lila thought carefully and answered, an echo. Thorn smiled and handed her the pearl. You are wise and true. This will guide you to the final challenge. With the pearl in hand, Lila continued her journey and soon arrived at a majestic, ancient oak tree. The tree's bark was etched with glowing symbols, and a wise old owl named Orin perched on a low branch. To find the Lantern of Wishes, Orin said, you must solve one final riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lila pondered the riddle and answered, a fire. Orin nodded approvingly and pointed to a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. You have answered correctly. Follow this path, and you will find the Lantern of Wishes. Lila followed the path, which led her to a secluded glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade stood a pedestal with the Lantern of Wishes glowing softly atop it. Lila approached the lantern and gently lifted it from its stand. The lantern's light grew brighter, illuminating the entire glade. With the lantern in her hands, Lila took a deep breath and made her wish. I wish for the happiness and prosperity of my village, so that every heart in Everglow may be filled with joy and hope. The Lantern of Wishes glowed even brighter, and a warm, golden light spread from the lantern, traveling through the forest and reaching the village. The trees in the forest seemed to hum with harmony, and the air was filled with a sense of peace. When Lila returned to Everglow, she found that her wish had come true. The village was bustling with life and laughter. Crops flourished, rivers flowed abundantly, and the villagers' hearts were filled with joy and gratitude. The people of Everglow celebrated Lila's bravery and selflessness. They honored her with a grand feast and a beautiful garden in her name. The lantern was placed in a special place in the village, where its light continued to shine as a symbol of hope and unity. And so, the village of Everglow thrived, and Lila's adventure became a cherished tale passed down through generations. The Lantern of Wishes remained a beacon of hope. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a dense forest, there lived a young girl named Lily. Lily was known throughout the village for her green thumb. She could make anything grow, from the tiniest seed to the most stubborn plant. Her garden was the most beautiful in the village, filled with vibrant flowers, towering trees, and vegetables that grew in abundance. But what made her garden truly special was a small, mysterious gate at the far end, covered in ivy and hidden from view. One summer evening, as the sun was setting and the sky was painted in hues of pink and orange, Lily noticed something strange about the gate. The ivy seemed to glow with a faint, golden light, and the air around it shimmered as if it were filled with tiny, invisible stars. Curious, Lily approached the gate, brushing aside the ivy that had grown over it. To her surprise, she found an old, rusted keyhole in the center of the gate, with a key still inside. Her heart pounding with excitement, Lily turned the key, and with a soft click, the gate creaked open. She stepped through, finding herself in a place unlike any she had ever seen. It was another garden, but this one was magical. The flowers glowed with colors she had never imagined, the trees whispered ancient secrets, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of unknown blossoms. At the center of this enchanted garden stood a tall, ancient tree with silver bark and leaves that glittered like stars. The tree had a face, old and wise, and as Lily approached, it smiled at her. "Welcome, young one," the tree said in a voice as gentle as the wind. "You have found the enchanted garden, a place of magic and wonder. Only those with pure hearts and a deep love for nature can enter here. I am the guardian of this garden, and I have been waiting for someone like you." Lily was awestruck. "This place is beautiful," she said, her voice filled with awe. "But why have you been waiting for me?" The guardian tree's eyes twinkled. "This garden is a source of life and magic, but it has been fading over the years. The magic here needs to be nurtured, and only someone who truly understands the beauty and power of nature can do that. I have watched you tend to your garden, and I know that you are the one who can save this place." Lily felt a swell of pride and determination. "I will do everything I can to help," she promised. The guardian tree nodded. "There are 3 tasks you must complete to restore the garden's magic. First, you must find the crystal waters, a hidden spring that flows deep within the garden. The water from this spring will nourish the roots of the trees and plants, bringing them back to life." Lily set off on her first task, guided by the whispers of the trees and the glowing flowers. After some time, she found herself standing before a large, ancient stone covered in moss and vines. Beneath the stone, she could hear the gentle sound of flowing water. With a bit of effort, she moved the stone aside and uncovered the spring. The water was crystal clear and shimmered with a faint blue light. She carefully filled a small vial she had brought with her and returned to the guardian tree. "Well done," the guardian tree said as Lily poured the crystal water around its roots. The ground seemed to glow as the water soaked in, and the tree stood taller, its leaves sparkling brighter than before. "Your second task," the tree continued, "is to find the golden seeds. These seeds are hidden within the garden and have the power to grow plants that will restore the garden's beauty. But beware, for the seeds are guarded by the forest spirits, who are wary of outsiders." Lily ventured deeper into the garden, the path winding through thick undergrowth and past ancient, twisted trees. As she walked, she began to hear faint, melodic music, like a lullaby carried on the breeze. She followed the sound until she reached a clearing where tiny, glowing beings danced in the air, the forest spirits. The spirits stopped their dance as Lily approached, watching her with curious, shimmering eyes. Lily knew she had to gain their trust, so she knelt down and spoke softly. "I come to help the garden," she said. "I seek the golden seeds to restore its magic." The forest spirits whispered among themselves, their voices like wind chimes. Finally, one of them fluttered forward, holding a tiny pouch made of leaves and filled with golden seeds. "We have guarded these seeds for many years," the spirit said. "We give them to you, for we sense your love for this place is true. Use them wisely." Lily thanked the spirits and took the seeds back to the guardian tree. She planted them in the rich soil around the tree, and immediately, the garden began to transform. Flowers of every color bloomed, vines climbed the trees, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms. "Your final task," said the guardian tree, "is the most important. You must find the heart of the garden, a rare and delicate flower that blooms only once every 100 years. The heart of the garden holds the very essence of this place, and without it, the magic cannot survive." Lily knew this would be the most challenging task, but she was determined to succeed. She searched high and low, through every corner of the enchanted garden. Finally, in a quiet, secluded grove, she found the heart of the garden. It was a small, delicate flower with petals that shimmered like the night sky, deep blue with flecks of silver, as if the stars themselves had settled upon it. Carefully, Lily picked the flower and brought it back to the guardian tree. As she placed the heart of the garden at the tree's base, the entire garden burst into life. The trees sang, the flowers danced, and the air was filled with light and magic. The guardian tree's voice echoed through the garden, filled with gratitude. "You have done it, Lily. The garden is restored, and its magic will now live on for centuries to come." You are the true guardian of this place, and it will forever be yours." Lily smiled, her heart swelling with happiness. She knew she had found her true calling. From that day on, she cared for the enchanted garden, visiting it every day, and its magic continued to flourish under her watchful eye. And so, the garden remained a place of wonder and beauty, a secret known only to Lily and the magical beings who dwelled within it. The villagers often marveled at how Lily's garden seemed to grow more beautiful with each passing day, never suspecting the enchanted world hidden just beyond the ivy-covered gate. In time, Lily grew old, but her love for the garden never faded. She passed on the knowledge and the secret of the garden to her children, who continued to care for it as she had. And so, the magic of the enchanted garden lived on, a testament to the power of love, dedication, and the wonder of nature. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil valley surrounded by rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there was a tiny village known for its breathtaking night skies. Each evening, the villagers would gather to watch the stars twinkle and dance in the sky, filling their hearts with wonder. The most enchanting legend of all was the tale of the Lantern of Stars, a magical lantern said to be able to capture the light of the stars and grant one wish to anyone who could find it. In this village lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her boundless curiosity and love of the night sky. Every night, she would gaze up at the stars and dream of discovering the Lantern of Stars. Her dreams weren't just about making a wish for herself, but rather using the lantern's magic to help her village, which had recently suffered from a series of unfortunate events that left the fields barren and the river running dry. One crisp autumn evening, Lyra decided it was time to embark on a quest to find the Lantern of Stars and restore hope to her village. The first challenge, the Whispering Forest. Lyra's journey began in the Whispering Forest, a mystical place where the trees seemed to speak in hushed tones and the leaves rustled with secrets. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she came across an ancient oak tree with a face carved into its trunk. To pass through the Whispering Forest, the tree said in a voice as old as time, "You must solve this riddle. I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go outside." What am I? Lyra thought for a moment and answered, "A piano." The ancient oak tree's eyes sparkled with approval, and it parted its branches to reveal a hidden path. "Follow this path to continue your quest," the tree advised. The second challenge, the River of Reflections. Lyra followed the path and soon reached the River of Reflections, a serene river with water so clear it mirrored the sky perfectly. The river was guarded by a graceful swan whose feathers glistened like moonlight. To cross the River of Reflections, the swan said in a melodious voice, "You must answer this question. The more you take, the more you leave behind." What am I? Lyra pondered the question and replied, "Footsteps." The swan's eyes shone with delight, and it flapped its wings, creating a bridge of sparkling water lilies across the river. Lyra carefully crossed the bridge, her heart filled with hope. The third challenge, the Cave of Echoes. On the other side of the river, Lyra arrived at the entrance of the Cave of Echoes, a grand cavern where the walls seemed to hum with a soft, resonant melody. At the entrance stood a large, ornate door with intricate star patterns. A gentle voice echoed from within the cave, "To unlock this door and find the Lantern of Stars, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with sincerity." Lyra took a deep breath and spoke with honesty, "My deepest wish is to find the Lantern of Stars and use its magic to bring prosperity and joy back to my village. I want to help my people and restore the land that has suffered." The cave's walls began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing a chamber bathed in a soft, celestial light. In the center of the chamber stood the Lantern of Stars, its surface shimmering with the light of countless stars. The revelation, the lantern's gift. With the Lantern of Stars in her hands, Lyra returned to her village. As she held the lantern up to the night sky, its light began to shine brightly, sending a cascade of starry beams across the land. The barren fields turned lush and green, the river flowed with crystal-clear water, and a sense of joy and prosperity returned to the village. The villagers gathered around Lyra, amazed by the transformation. They celebrated her bravery and the magic of the Lantern of Stars, grateful for the return of their land's abundance and happiness. The tale of Lyra's quest and the Lantern of Stars became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of hope, courage, and the magic that lies within the heart of those who seek to bring light and joy to others. Under the twinkling stars and the magic of the lantern, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the girl who had restored their dreams and their land. Once upon a time, in a land where mountains brushed the clouds and meadows danced with wildflowers, there lay a hidden kingdom called Verdant Valley. This kingdom was known for its lush landscapes and the most enchanting creatures. Among them was a mythical bird, the silver lark, whose song was said to bring joy and peace wherever it was heard. Legend had it that the silver lark lived in the heart of the enchanted forest, a place so magical that only those with pure intentions could find their way through its labyrinthine paths. The kingdom had long yearned to see the silver lark, not just for its beauty but for the peace it was rumored to bring. One day, a kind-hearted young girl named Arya, known for her gentle spirit and adventurous heart, decided she would set out on a quest to find the silver lark. Her village had been plagued by a long, harsh winter, and the people needed hope and cheer. Arya prepared for her journey with a small satchel of provisions and a compass that had belonged to her grandmother. She set out at dawn, her heart full of hope and determination. The path to the enchanted forest was not easy. As Arya ventured deeper, she encountered talking animals, playful sprites, and shimmering butterflies that seemed to dance around her. Each creature she met gave her a piece of advice or a small token of luck to help her on her journey. She first met an old wise turtle named Oliver. Oliver advised her, "In the heart of the enchanted forest, there are 3 challenges you must face. Each will test your heart and spirit. Only those who are truly pure of heart can reach the silver lark." The first challenge was the River of Reflections, a river with crystal-clear waters that mirrored not just the physical appearance but also the innermost thoughts and feelings. As Arya approached the river, she saw not just her reflection but also the worries and hopes she had. The river whispered, "To cross, you must let go of your doubts and fears." Arya took a deep breath and closed her eyes, focusing on the love she felt for her village and her desire to bring them joy. When she opened her eyes, the water shimmered and parted, creating a path for her to cross. Next, she came to the Field of Echoes, a vast meadow where every sound was repeated, and one's intentions were revealed. To move forward, Arya had to speak her true purpose. She called out, "I seek the silver lark to bring hope and cheer to my village." The echoes that returned were filled with warmth and encouragement, guiding her through the field. Finally, Arya arrived at the Grove of Shadows, where dark, twisted trees loomed. This challenge required her to face her own fears and doubts. The shadows whispered menacingly, but Arya remembered the tokens of luck she had received from the creatures of the forest. She held them tightly and walked through the shadows, allowing the light from within her to dispel the darkness. At last, Arya reached the heart of the enchanted forest, where a magnificent silver tree stood. Perched gracefully on one of its branches was the silver lark, its feathers gleaming with a magical light. The bird's song was a melody of such beauty that it made Arya's heart swell with joy. The silver lark fluttered down and perched on Arya's shoulder. It sang a soft, soothing tune that seemed to wrap Arya in a warm embrace. The bird then spoke in a gentle voice, "You have shown courage, kindness, and purity of heart. I will grant you a song of peace and happiness for your village." Arya thanked the silver lark and made her way back to Verdant Valley, carrying the bird's melody in her heart. When she returned, she shared the song with her village, and the moment its notes filled the air, the harsh winter began to melt away. The snow receded, and flowers began to bloom once more. The village rejoiced, and Arya was hailed as a heroine. The silver lark, having fulfilled its promise, flew back to the enchanted forest, leaving behind a small, silver feather as a token of its magic. From that day on, Verdant Valley was blessed with peace and happiness, and the tale of Arya's quest was told for generations as a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within. And so, Arya and her village lived joyfully ever after, always cherishing the melody of the silver lark and the lessons learned from their enchanting journey. Once upon a time, in the lush and lively kingdom of Eldergrove, there was a magical place known as the Glade of Echoes. This glade was renowned for its ancient trees that sang with the wind and the Lantern of Legends, a mystical lantern said to grant one wish to those who approached it with a brave heart and a pure soul. The Lantern of Legends was hidden deep within the glade and could only be found on the night of the Moon Festival, when the sky was filled with shimmering moonbeams. In the charming village of Willowbend, nestled at the edge of the forest, lived a spirited and kind-hearted girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bravery and her love of stories. Her dearest friend was a clever and kind-hearted squirrel named Nutmeg, who was known for her quick thinking and her ability to find hidden paths. One evening, as the Moon Festival began, Mira and Nutmeg discovered an old, intricately carved wooden box buried beneath a bed of wildflowers. Inside the box was a beautifully engraved lantern and a note that read, "The Glade of Echoes awaits. Follow the lantern on the Moon Festival night to unlock its magic." Filled with excitement and a sense of purpose, Mira and Nutmeg set out on their journey. The path to the Glade of Echoes was bathed in the soft, silver light of the moon and the gentle glow of fireflies. As they entered the glade, they were greeted by the mesmerizing beauty of the moonlit trees and the soothing sounds of the singing wind. However, the path to the Lantern of Legends was guarded by 3 enchanting challenges. The first challenge was the Forest of Whispers. This was a dense, shadowy forest where the trees whispered riddles that needed to be solved to find the way forward. A soft, echoing voice from the trees posed a riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and then answered, "A joke." The trees rustled with approval, and the path through the Forest of Whispers cleared, leading them to the next challenge. The second challenge was the River of Reflections. This river was filled with shimmering, moonlit water that mirrored their deepest fears and desires. To cross the river, they needed to face their reflections and speak their true intentions. Mira and Nutmeg stepped cautiously to the river's edge. Mira saw her greatest desire, to bring happiness and prosperity to her village, reflected back at her. She spoke with conviction, "I wish for the well-being and joy of everyone in Willowbend, so that we may all thrive together." The river's surface glowed brightly, and a bridge of moonlight appeared, allowing them to cross safely. The final challenge was the Maze of Echoes. In this maze, the walls were lined with echoing whispers that shifted and changed direction. To find their way out, they needed to listen carefully and follow the correct echoes. Nutmeg's sharp ears helped guide them through the maze, and Mira used the lantern to illuminate their path. They carefully followed the echoes until they emerged into a moonlit clearing where the Lantern of Legends awaited. At the center of the clearing stood the Lantern of Legends, its light shimmering with a magical glow. To make their wish, Mira needed to speak her wish aloud with sincerity. Mira approached the lantern and spoke from her heart, "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of everyone in Willowbend, so that we may all live in harmony and joy." As Mira's wish was spoken, the lantern's light expanded, and a soft, golden glow spread throughout the glade and beyond. The magic of the lantern touched every corner of Eldergrove, bringing joy and prosperity to all who lived there. When Mira and Nutmeg returned to Willowbend, they found their village transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and happy, and the people were filled with a deep sense of contentment and harmony. The tale of Mira and Nutmeg's adventure in the magic of the Lantern of Legends became a cherished story in Eldergrove, reminding everyone of the importance of courage, kindness, and the power of selfless wishes. And so, the Glade of Echoes continued to be a place of wonder and magic, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the Moon Festival. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldervale, there was a town perched on the banks of a river that shimmered like silver in the sunlight. The river was known as the Silver Song, not only for its beauty but for the soft melody that seemed to drift on the wind whenever one stood near its banks. It was said that the river held ancient magic, and every few generations, it granted a single wish to someone pure of heart. In this town lived a young boy named Aaron. His mother was a healer, and his father had passed away when Aaron was just a baby. Aaron often helped his mother gather herbs, but his real love was the Silver Song River. Each morning, he would wake early, before the sun had fully risen, and sit by the water, listening to the river's quiet song. His deepest wish was to know the secret of the river and hear its true song, the one said to reveal the wisdom of the ages. One summer day, as Aaron sat on the riverbank skipping stones, an old fisherman approached him. The man was hunched and weathered from years of casting nets, his eyes sharp as flint. He sat beside Aaron and cast his line into the water without a word. After a few minutes of silence, he spoke in a raspy voice. "You listen to the river every day, don't you?" Aaron nodded, surprised the man had noticed. "Yes, sir. I've always wondered what its song really means." The fisherman smiled. "I've seen many young folk sit by this river, but none have ever asked to know its secrets. They're too busy wanting riches or fame. You, though, you want to understand." Aaron looked at him, confused. "Can you tell me the secret of the river?" The fisherman's eyes gleamed. "The river's secret can only be revealed to someone who is willing to take a journey. And not just any journey, a journey to the source of the silver song. But beware, it's not an easy path. You'll face challenges that will test your heart." Aaron felt a thrill of excitement, but also a twinge of fear. He had heard stories of strange creatures and enchanted woods that lay beyond the town. But his desire to know the truth was greater than his fear. "How do I find the source?" Aaron asked, determined. The fisherman handed him a small, silver fishhook. "Tie this to any thread and cast it into the water. The river will guide you." The next morning, Aaron set out on his journey. He tied the silver hook to a length of string and cast it into the river. To his amazement, the hook began to pull upstream, tugging him along as if the river itself were leading the way. For days, Aaron followed the river, walking through forests and over hills. As he journeyed deeper into the unknown, the melody of the river grew louder, more beautiful, and more complex. But soon, the trials the fisherman had warned him about began. The first test came when Aaron reached a dense, thorny thicket. The river disappeared into the brambles, and there seemed to be no way forward. Aaron thought about turning back, but the river's song urged him on. Remembering the healer's salve his mother had taught him to make from forest herbs, he gently gathered what he needed to soften the thorns, creating a path through the dangerous plants. As he passed through, a voice whispered from the trees, "Kindness to the earth will open the way." The second trial was a vast, dark forest filled with eerie sounds. Aaron could barely see, and shadows seemed to move around him. Just as fear was about to overwhelm him, he remembered the stories his mother had told him to calm his nerves as a child. He began to hum the melody of the river softly to himself, hoping it would keep the shadows at bay. The deeper he went, the more confident he became, until the forest began to glow with soft moonlight. "The brave heart finds light in darkness," said the wind. Finally, Aaron reached a towering waterfall, where the river cascaded from the cliffs above, turning into the silver song. There, at the foot of the waterfall, stood a woman dressed in robes of water and starlight. Her hair flowed like the river itself, and her eyes sparkled with wisdom beyond the ages. "You have come far, Aaron," she said, her voice like the river's song. "Many turn back before they reach this place, but you have shown kindness, bravery, and perseverance." Aaron bowed his head, both in awe and humility. "I seek to know the secret of the Silver Song River, to understand its true song." The woman smiled gently. "You have already begun to understand it. The song of the Silver Song is not a secret hidden in the river's depths, it is the song of life itself. It flows through kindness, through bravery, and through every heart that seeks not for power, but for truth. The river's magic lies in the harmony between all living things, and those who listen can learn from it." As she spoke, the melody of the river rose into the air, filling Aaron's heart with a deep sense of peace and understanding. He realized that the journey itself had been the true answer. The river had taught him through the trials he faced. The woman stepped forward and handed him a small vial filled with water from the Silver Song. "Take this with you, Aaron. It holds the essence of the river. And with it, you may heal hearts and bring peace wherever you go." With gratitude, Aaron accepted the gift, knowing that the river had given him more than just a secret. It had given him wisdom he would carry for the rest of his life. When he returned to his village, the townspeople noticed a change in him, a quiet strength and understanding that hadn't been there before. He used the vial of Silver Song water to help his mother heal the sick and comfort those in need. And though the river continued to sing its soft melody, Aaron knew its true song now lived within his heart. And so, the boy who once longed to hear the secret of the Silver Song River became a guide for others, teaching them to listen to the quiet songs in their own lives. The end. Once upon a time, in a village that lay cradled between misty mountains and a deep, shimmering lake, there was a little girl named Lila. Lila had a special gift: she could talk to animals. Her days were filled with laughter and adventure as she roamed the woods, making friends with every creature she met. One crisp autumn evening, as Lila was playing near the edge of the lake, she noticed a strange, flickering light dancing on the water. Curious, she followed the light to a small, hidden cove she had never seen before. There, lying among the rocks, was an old lantern with intricate designs etched into its surface. Lila picked up the lantern, and as she held it, the light inside grew brighter, casting a soft, warm glow. A gentle voice seemed to whisper from within, "Help us, and the magic of the lantern will be yours." Excited, Lila carried the lantern home. She soon learned that it was no ordinary lantern. It had the power to grant wishes. But there was a catch: the wishes must be made with a heart full of kindness. As Lila went about her days, she used the lantern to help others. She wished for a new well for the village, so the townsfolk no longer had to carry heavy buckets from the distant river. She wished for a cozy shelter for the village animals during the harsh winter. Each wish she made brought joy and relief to those around her. One day, a terrible storm rolled into the village. The wind howled, and the rain poured relentlessly, flooding the fields and causing havoc. Lila knew she had to help. She went to the lantern and made a heartfelt wish for the storm to cease and for the village to be safe. As soon as she made her wish, a radiant light burst from the lantern, illuminating the sky. The storm clouds began to part, and a gentle rain fell, slowly calming the tempest. The villagers looked up in awe as the storm faded and the skies cleared. Grateful and relieved, the villagers gathered around Lila. They celebrated with a grand feast and thanked her for her bravery and kindness. Lila smiled and realized that while the lantern was a powerful tool, the true magic came from the love and care she had put into her wishes. That night, as Lila looked at the now calm and beautiful village, she knew that the lantern had taught her an important lesson: that the greatest magic of all is the kindness and compassion we share with others. Lila continued to use the lantern to spread joy, but she also learned to use her own heart to make the world a better place. The lantern remained a cherished treasure, a symbol of the light that kindness brings to every corner of the world. And so, the village thrived, and Lila's legacy lived on through the acts of kindness she inspired. The Starlight Lantern was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the true magic that lies within a heart full of love. Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by rolling hills and meadows, there was a tranquil lake known as Moonlit Lake. Every night, when the moonlight touched its surface, the lake would sparkle with magical colors, and it was said that the lake held the power to grant a single wish to those who showed true bravery and kindness. In this village lived a young girl named Lila, known for her gentle spirit and her love for animals. Her little brother, Tom, had fallen ill with a mysterious ailment that none of the village healers could cure. Lila, desperate to help Tom, decided to seek out the magic of Moonlit Lake in the hopes of finding a cure. One evening, under the light of a full moon, Lila set out for the lake. She walked through the meadows, her heart filled with both hope and anxiety. As she reached the edge of the lake, she marveled at the way the moonlight made the water glisten like a blanket of stars. A soft, shimmering voice greeted her. "Welcome, Lila. I am the spirit of Moonlit Lake. What brings you to my waters?" Lila took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I have come to make a wish for my little brother Tom. He is very ill, and I hope that the magic of this lake can heal him." The spirit of the lake responded gently, "To receive the magic of the lake, you must first prove your bravery and kindness. There are 3 tasks you must complete. Only then will your wish be granted." Lila nodded, her resolve firm. "I will do whatever it takes." The first task led Lila into the enchanted forest, where she encountered a family of deer trapped by a fallen tree. The deer were frightened and unable to escape. Lila, with her strong will and gentle hands, carefully removed the branches and lifted the tree enough for the deer to get free. The grateful deer offered her a glowing feather as a token of their thanks. The second task was to cross a wide, raging river. The river was known for its swift currents and treacherous waters. As Lila approached the riverbank, she saw a family of beavers struggling to build a dam against the strong current. Without hesitation, Lila joined them, helping to reinforce the dam with sturdy branches and stones. Her hard work and determination helped the beavers complete their dam, creating a safe crossing point for her. The third and final task took Lila to the Whispering Grove, a place where the trees were known to speak in hushed tones. There, Lila encountered a grumpy old troll who guarded a bridge. The troll demanded a riddle be solved to pass. "Answer me this," the troll grumbled. "What can travel around the world while staying in a corner?" Lila thought carefully and then smiled. "A stamp." The troll's eyes widened in surprise, and he allowed her to cross the bridge with a nod of approval. With all 3 tasks completed, Lila returned to Moonlit Lake, carrying the glowing feather from the deer and the heartfelt thanks of the beavers and the troll. The spirit of the lake appeared once more, its voice warm and reassuring. "You have shown great bravery and kindness, Lila. Your heart is pure, and you have fulfilled the tasks set before you. Your wish shall now be granted." The spirit waved its hand, and a soft, golden light enveloped Lila. The light shimmered and then traveled through the night, reaching her home and gently touching Tom. As the light faded, Tom stirred and awoke, feeling stronger and healthier. When Lila returned home, she found Tom smiling and full of energy. The village celebrated the miraculous recovery, and Lila's bravery and kindness became a cherished story among the villagers. The moonlit lake continued to sparkle under the moonlight, its magic a reminder that true courage and kindness could bring about the most wonderful changes. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and a crystal-clear sea, there was a peaceful village named Glimmerstone. The village was known for its extraordinary stones that shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. Each stone was said to possess a unique magic, and the villagers believed that the stones brought good fortune and harmony. In Glimmerstone, there lived a young girl named Lila. Lila had an extraordinary gift. She could communicate with the stones and understand their secrets. Despite her talent, she lived a simple life, helping her family and caring for her beloved pet rabbit, Thistle. One day, a dark cloud covered the sky, and the once vibrant stones began to lose their luster. The villagers grew worried as their crops withered and the river started to dry up. Desperate, they turned to Lila for help. The village elder told her of an ancient prophecy: only the Heartstone could restore balance and bring back the magic of the stones. According to the prophecy, the Heartstone was hidden in the Forbidden Forest, a place no villager had ever dared to explore. Determined to save her village, Lila set off on a journey, taking Thistle with her for companionship and support. As they entered the Forbidden Forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and strange shadows danced among the leaves. But Lila's heart was steady. She followed a trail of glowing stones that seemed to guide her deeper into the forest. Along the way, she encountered magical creatures, a wise old tortoise who offered her guidance, a playful sprite who gave her a hint, and a brave squirrel who shared his knowledge of the forest's hidden paths. After a long and arduous journey, Lila and Thistle reached the heart of the forest, where they discovered a hidden cave. Inside, the cave sparkled with countless gems, but at its center was the Heartstone, radiating a soft, golden glow. The stone was guarded by a majestic phoenix, whose fiery feathers illuminated the cave with a warm light. The phoenix spoke in a voice that echoed through the cavern: only one with a true and selfless heart may claim the Heartstone. To prove your worth, you must answer a question: what is the greatest gift one can give to others? Lila thought for a moment, then replied, "The greatest gift is love and kindness. It is the ability to care for others and help them, even when it is difficult." The phoenix nodded, its eyes glowing with approval. "You have answered wisely. The Heartstone is yours, but remember, it is not the stone itself that has the power. It is the love and kindness in your heart that will restore the magic." Lila took the Heartstone and made her way back to Glimmerstone. As she approached the village, she held the stone high, and its golden light spread over the land. The withered crops began to bloom, the rivers flowed once more, and the stones regained their vibrant colors. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Lila's bravery and selflessness. They honored her with a grand feast and thanked her for saving their home. Lila's courage had not only restored their magic but had also brought the village closer together, reminding them of the true power of love and kindness. From that day on, Glimmerstone thrived, and the legend of Lila and the Heartstone became a cherished tale, passed down through the generations. And so, Lila, Thistle, and the villagers lived happily ever after, surrounded by the shimmering stones and the warmth of their newfound unity. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the heart of a quaint village nestled between rolling hills, there was a clockmaker named Tobias. Tobias was known for his skill in crafting the most intricate and beautiful clocks, each one more marvelous than the last. His workshop, filled with the rhythmic ticking of countless clocks, was a place of wonder and delight. One chilly winter's night, as Tobias was working on a particularly elaborate clock, a mysterious old woman appeared at his door. She was draped in a cloak of midnight blue, and her eyes sparkled like stars. In her hands, she held a delicate, silver pocket watch that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the workshop. "I have heard of your skill," the old woman said with a voice as smooth as velvet. "And I have a special request." Tobias, intrigued, invited her inside. The old woman explained that the pocket watch was no ordinary timepiece, it was a magical clock that could control the flow of time. However, it had been broken for centuries, and she needed Tobias's expertise to repair it. "The watch is enchanted," she said, "and it holds the power to alter time itself. It belongs to the timekeeper, a guardian of the time realms. It must be repaired before the next full moon, or the balance of time will be disrupted." Tobias, though unsure of the magic involved, agreed to take on the challenge. He carefully examined the pocket watch, noticing that it had intricate engravings of stars and constellations. As he worked, he felt a strange sensation, as if the very fabric of time was intertwined with the watch. Days passed, and Tobias worked tirelessly, his hands moving with practiced precision. He could feel the watch's magic guiding him, and with each adjustment, the faint glow of the watch grew brighter. The village buzzed with curiosity about the mysterious visitor and the extraordinary task Tobias was undertaking. As the full moon approached, Tobias completed his work. The pocket watch now ticked with a steady, harmonious rhythm, and its glow illuminated the workshop with a soft, golden light. The old woman returned, her eyes filled with gratitude and relief. "You have done it," she said. "The watch is now restored, and the balance of time is preserved. But there is one more thing." She opened the watch, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a tiny, shimmering star. "This star holds a piece of the timekeeper's essence," she explained. "I wish to give it to you as a token of appreciation for your bravery and skill." Tobias accepted the star, feeling its warmth and gentle energy. The old woman smiled and said, "With this star, you will always have a touch of magic in your life. And remember, time is precious, cherish every moment." With that, the old woman vanished into the night, leaving behind a sense of wonder and magic. Tobias kept the star safe in his workshop, and it became a symbol of his extraordinary adventure. As the years went by, Tobias's clocks continued to bring joy and wonder to the village, and he lived a fulfilling life. The star reminded him of the magical night and the lesson it carried, that time is a treasure, and the moments we cherish are what truly shape our lives. And so, the tale of the enchanted clockmaker and the magical pocket watch became a cherished story in the village, passed down through generations. The villagers remembered Tobias not only for his skill in crafting clocks but for his courage and the magic he brought into their lives. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering river, there lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known throughout the village for her adventurous spirit and kind heart. Her greatest treasure was an old lantern she had inherited from her grandmother. The lantern was peculiar, its light seemed to flicker in colors of gold and silver, and it had a soft, soothing glow even in the darkest of nights. Every evening, Ilara would light the lantern and place it by her window, believing it brought warmth and light not only to her home but to the entire village. The villagers often remarked on how the lantern's glow seemed to chase away shadows and fill their hearts with peace. One autumn evening, as Ilara was preparing for bed, a fierce storm swept through the village. The wind howled through the trees, and the rain poured down in torrents. As the storm raged, the lantern's light began to flicker more wildly than ever before. Ilara watched in awe as the lantern's glow grew brighter and brighter until, with a sudden burst of light, it illuminated the entire room and then vanished. When the light subsided, Ilara found herself not in her cozy bedroom, but in a magnificent forest bathed in twilight. The trees here were tall and ancient, their leaves shimmering with a silvery sheen. The air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers and the soft hum of magical creatures. Confused but curious, Ilara wandered through the forest until she came across a small, elegant cottage. The cottage seemed to glow with the same soft light as her lantern. Tentatively, she knocked on the door, and it was opened by an elderly woman with a warm smile and twinkling eyes. "Welcome, Ilara," the woman said. "I am Lumina, the guardian of the enchanted lantern. I see that your lantern has brought you here." Ilara was astonished. "But how do you know my name? And where am I?" Lumina chuckled gently. "This is the Enchanted Forest, a place where magic thrives and wishes come to life. Your lantern is not just an ordinary object, it is a key to this world. It has chosen you to help restore balance to our realm." Ilara was intrigued. "How can I help?" Lumina explained that the Enchanted Forest was losing its magic because the Heartstone, the source of the forest's power, had been stolen. The Heartstone was a precious gem that radiated pure magic, and without it, the forest would lose its enchantment and eventually fade away. "The Heartstone was taken by a mischievous sprite named Thistle," Lumina said. "He has hidden it deep within the gloomy caverns. Only someone with a pure heart and brave spirit can retrieve it and restore the balance." Ilara, feeling a deep sense of responsibility, agreed to help. Lumina handed her a small, silver key. "This will guide you to the gloomy caverns. Trust in your lantern's light, and it will lead you through the darkness." With the key in hand and her lantern glowing brightly, Ilara set off towards the gloomy caverns. The journey was treacherous, with swirling mists and eerie shadows. But as she ventured deeper, the lantern's light grew stronger, illuminating a path through the gloom. Finally, she reached the entrance to the gloomy caverns. The cavern was dark and foreboding, but Ilara's lantern pierced through the darkness. She followed the path until she found Thistle, the sprite, who was sitting on a rock, fiddling with the Heartstone. "Why did you steal the Heartstone?" Ilara asked bravely. "The Enchanted Forest needs it to survive." Thistle looked up, his eyes filled with mischief and regret. "I took it because I wanted to be the most powerful sprite in the forest. But I didn't realize that without the Heartstone, the magic of the forest would wither. I've been feeling its loss, and I know now that it was a mistake." Ilara's heart softened. "It's never too late to make things right. Please return the Heartstone, and together we can restore the magic." Thistle hesitated but then handed the Heartstone to Ilara. She took it with gratitude and placed it in her lantern. The moment the Heartstone touched the lantern, it glowed with a brilliant light, filling the cavern with warmth and magic. Ilara made her way back to the Enchanted Forest, with Thistle and the Heartstone in tow. As she approached the forest, the trees began to shimmer and the flowers bloomed with renewed brilliance. The magic of the forest had been restored. Lumina greeted her with a joyous smile. "You have done a great deed, Ilara." The Heartstone's return has brought back the enchantment of the forest. The lantern's light will always guide you, and you will forever be a friend of the enchanted forest. With a grateful heart, Elara bid farewell to Lumina and Thistle. As she held the lantern close, she felt a gentle pull, and in a flash of light, she found herself back in her own room. The storm had passed, and the village was calm once more. The lantern's light shone with a renewed brilliance, and Elara knew that the magic of the enchanted forest was forever intertwined with her own world. From that day on, the lantern became a symbol of hope and courage, and Elara's adventures were shared as tales of bravery and kindness. And every night, as she looked up at the stars, she felt a connection to the enchanted realm, knowing that magic was always just a light away. The end.
In the enchanting kingdom of Lyria, where magical creatures roamed and the sky was a canvas of ever-changing colors, there was a tale of a mystical artifact known as the Silver Star. Legend spoke of a hidden valley where this star lay, capable of granting a single wish to anyone with a heart full of hope and courage. In a small village on the edge of the kingdom lived a young girl named Elara. She had a kind heart and a deep love for her people, who had been suffering from a terrible drought that had withered their lands. Driven by her desire to help, Elara decided to find the Silver Star and make a wish to restore her village. One morning, Elara discovered an old, dusty map hidden in her grandmother's attic. The map was adorned with ancient symbols and a cryptic riddle. It was said that the map could lead to the hidden valley, but only if one could solve the riddle. The riddle read, "In the land where shadows dance and sunlight weaves a golden thread, seek the path where the heart leads, where the quiet whispers are said." Determined, Elara set off on her journey, following the directions on the map. Her path took her through lush forests, across sparkling streams, and over rolling hills. The landscape seemed to change with every step she took, as though it was alive with magic. Elara soon entered the enchanted forest, a place where the trees were said to hold secrets and the air was thick with magic. As she walked, she came across a shimmering, golden pathway leading deeper into the woods. The path seemed to glow under the canopy of ancient trees. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. It was a wise old fairy named Thistle. To proceed, you must first show your heart's true intention. Answer me this: what is the greatest gift one can give? Elara thought carefully and replied, the greatest gift is to give love and kindness freely, without expecting anything in return. Thistle smiled and waved her hand, creating a magical bridge across a wide chasm. You have answered wisely. Proceed, and may your heart guide you. Beyond the enchanted forest, Elara faced the Mountain of Echoes, where every sound was amplified and twisted. The mountain was steep and treacherous, with echoes that could confuse even the most determined traveler. As Elara climbed, she heard the echoes of her own doubts and fears. You cannot do this, the echoes seemed to say. But Elara remembered her purpose and pushed onward, each step resonating with her courage and hope. At the mountain's peak, she found an ancient gate covered in vines. The gate had a keyhole shaped like a star, and beside it lay a small, silver key. The key glimmered with a familiar light. Elara used the key to unlock the gate, revealing a narrow, moonlit path leading downward. The path led Elara to a hidden valley, bathed in a soft, silvery glow. The valley was surrounded by towering cliffs, and at its center was a serene lake with water that sparkled like a sea of stars. In the lake's center, on a pedestal, lay the Silver Star, radiating a gentle, soothing light. Elara approached the Silver Star and felt its warmth. A voice echoed from the star, "To make your wish, you must first understand its true meaning." Elara took a deep breath and thought of her village, her people's struggles, and her own hopes for a better future. She whispered her wish. "I wish for rain to restore the land and for my village to be saved." As Elara spoke her wish, the Silver Star's light grew brighter, and a soft rain began to fall. The rain was gentle at first, but soon it became a steady downpour, nourishing the land and filling the streams. The valley seemed to come alive with lush greenery and vibrant flowers. Elara returned to her village, finding that the rain had reached them as well. The once dry fields were now lush and green. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Alara's bravery and selflessness. They marveled at the miraculous change and were grateful for the young girl who had ventured into the unknown to save them. The silver star remained in the hidden valley, a symbol of hope and the power of a pure heart. Alara's story became a cherished legend in Lyria, inspiring others to pursue their dreams and help those in need. The valley, now known as the Valley of Stars, was visited by many who sought to be inspired by its magic and the story of the girl who had wished for the good of others. And so, Alara's bravery and kindness lived on, reminding everyone that even the smallest wish, when driven by love and courage, could bring about the most wondrous change.
Chapter 1: The Forest of Everwood. Once upon a time, in a land where magic thrived and mythical creatures roamed, there was a magnificent forest called Everwood. This forest was home to countless wonders, from trees that whispered secrets to streams that sparkled like diamonds. In the heart of Everwood, hidden from ordinary eyes, bloomed the enchanted rose. This rose was no ordinary flower. It held the power to grant a single, true wish to anyone who found it. In a quaint village at the edge of Everwood lived a young girl named Alara. She was known for her kindness and her deep love for nature. Alara's family was poor, and her father was gravely ill. She often heard stories about the enchanted rose and its wish-granting power, and she dreamed of finding it to save her father. Chapter 2: The journey begins. One day, Alara decided to venture into Everwood in search of the enchanted rose. Armed with her courage and a heart full of hope, she bid her father farewell and set off on her journey. As she entered the forest, she marveled at its beauty and listened to the soft whispers of the trees guiding her deeper into the woods. Alara's first encounter was with a talking squirrel named Nutmeg. Nutmeg, with his fluffy tail and twinkling eyes, offered to help Alara on her quest. He warned her of the forest's dangers but assured her that her pure heart would protect her. Chapter 3: The First Trial. As they ventured deeper, Alara and Nutmeg reached a glistening lake guarded by a wise old turtle named Tiberius. To cross the lake, they needed to solve a riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. Alara pondered for a moment and then answered, an echo. Tiberius smiled, impressed by her wisdom, and allowed them to cross the lake on his back. Chapter 4: The Second Trial. On the other side of the lake, they entered a dense thicket where a mischievous fox named Felix awaited. Felix challenged Alara to a game of bravery. He conjured illusions of fearsome creatures and dark shadows to test her courage. Alara, holding Nutmeg close, faced each illusion with unwavering resolve. She knew that her love for her father and her determination to save him were stronger than any fear. Seeing her bravery, Felix bowed and granted them passage. Chapter 5: The Guardian of the Rose. After many trials and adventures, Alara and Nutmeg finally reached the heart of Everwood. There, in a shimmering glade, stood the enchanted rose, its petals glowing with a magical light. However, the rose was guarded by a fierce dragon named Thaler. Thaler was enormous, with scales that glistened like emeralds and eyes that blazed like the sun. He challenged Alara, saying, "Only one with a pure heart and selfless intent can take the enchanted rose. What is your wish, young one?" Alara, with tears in her eyes, replied, "I wish to save my father and heal him from his illness. My only desire is to see him well again." Chapter 6: The Wish Granted. Thaler, moved by Alara's selflessness, allowed her to approach the enchanted rose. She plucked the rose gently and held it close, feeling its magic flow through her. The dragon bowed to her, and a brilliant light enveloped the glade. When the light faded, Alara found herself back in her village, standing beside her father's bed. The enchanted rose had vanished, but its magic had worked. Her father awoke, healthy and strong, smiling at his beloved daughter. Chapter 7: A New Beginning. Word of Alara's bravery and the enchanted rose spread throughout the village and beyond. She was celebrated as a hero, not just for saving her father, but for her courage, wisdom, and selflessness. Everwood, once mysterious and feared, became a symbol of hope and magic. Elara continued to care for her father and the villagers, always remembering the lessons she learned in Everwood. She knew that true magic came from within, from a heart full of love and a spirit of kindness. And so, the tale of Elara and the enchanted rose of Everwood was told for generations, a reminder that the purest wishes come true when guided by selflessness and courage. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of a grand mountain, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily loved nature and spent most of her time tending to her garden, which was the most beautiful in the village. Her garden was filled with vibrant flowers, delicious fruits, and fragrant herbs. People from all around would come to admire her garden and seek her advice on growing plants. One sunny morning, as Lily was watering her flowers, she noticed something unusual. A tiny, shimmering light darted through her garden and disappeared into a patch of roses. Curious, Lily followed the light and carefully parted the rose bushes. To her astonishment, she found a tiny fairy with delicate wings, caught in the thorny branches. "Please help me," the fairy pleaded with a soft, melodic voice. "I got lost and tangled in these thorns." Lily gently freed the fairy and placed her on a soft petal. "Thank you, kind human," the fairy said. "I am Flora, the fairy of the enchanted garden. As a token of my gratitude, I will grant you one wish." Lily thought for a moment and replied, "I wish for my garden to be the most beautiful and magical place in the world, where all creatures can find peace and happiness." Flora smiled and waved her tiny wand. A sparkling light enveloped the garden, and Lily watched in awe as her garden transformed. The flowers grew larger and more vibrant, the fruits became juicier and sweeter, and the herbs emitted the most delightful fragrances. But the most incredible change was the appearance of magical creatures. Butterflies with wings like stained glass, hummingbirds that sang melodies, and even tiny unicorns now roamed the garden. News of the enchanted garden spread quickly, and soon, people from distant lands came to witness its beauty. The garden became a place of wonder and joy, where everyone felt a sense of peace and happiness. One day, a young prince named Henry arrived at the garden. He had heard tales of its magic and wanted to see it for himself. As he wandered through the garden, he met Lily and was immediately struck by her kindness and beauty. "Lily," Prince Henry said, "your garden is the most magnificent place I have ever seen. How did it come to be so magical?" Lily told him the story of Flora, the fairy of the enchanted garden, and her wish for a place where all creatures could find peace and happiness. Prince Henry was deeply moved by her selflessness. "Lily, your heart is as beautiful as your garden," he said. "Would you come with me to my kingdom and help make it as wonderful as this garden?" Lily agreed, and together, they traveled to Prince Henry's kingdom. With Flora's blessing, they transformed the kingdom into a land of beauty and magic, where everyone lived in harmony with nature. The enchanted garden continued to flourish, serving as a reminder of the power of kindness and selflessness. And so, Lily and Prince Henry ruled their kingdom with love and wisdom, and their story became a beloved fairy tale passed down through generations. The enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and joy, a testament to the magic that can be found in a kind heart and a wish for happiness for all.